This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're going to be live on the radio in about a minute, and we have so much to cover today. I'm going to start with this insane Rachel Maddow unglued meltdown that she had on the air, calling her employers racist, and everything that happened with Joy Reid and everything, and what's going on here with the media. And then we're going to move on to a bunch of things because the news cycle is moving as fast as Carl Lewis in the 1984 Olympics, right? It's it. I do want to look that one thing up. Regina Hall was the name of the other one. Yeah, I just looked it up.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, welcome one and all. It is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. My name is Brian Craig. Welcome. We got a lot to cover, and I want to remind you, today at 10 o'clock, come join me with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library in Boca at 10 a.m. I'm going right here from the radio station to the Spanish River Library in Boca for the Revocable Living Trust Workshop hosted by Attorney Barry Siegel. You're all invited. I'll be the guy with the pants falling off because I've lost so much weight from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm telling you, I should have put another hole in my belt. I'm on the first hole I've made myself on this belt. I'm going to have to make another one today. We got a lot to cover, and I'm going to start talking about what happened with Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid and everything in MSNBC. Now, Joy Reid was one of several people that have been let go from MSNBC. And Rachel Maddow went on an unhinged rant, which I'm going to play for you in a few minutes, calling her employers racist. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? While she's on the air, and I'm gonna give you the end of the story in the beginning. No build up to this, okay? What Rachel Maddow is doing is she's virtue signaling and foreshadowing at the same time, and she knows that she's on her way out too. Okay, and she's gonna do it on her own terms, because they took all these non-white people off the air, and I can't work in a place like this, so I'm out of here. Okay, Rachel Maddow. So that's exactly what she's... Is it virtue signaling? Is it foreshadowing? I think it's a bit of both. And they did something which is unheard of in the broadcast industry, and that is when someone is fired, they don't usually let them go on the air again, because they're out of control usually. And Joy Reid looked like a lunatic last night. She was wearing a Joy Reid readout on MSNBC track suit. Did you see that? And I want to talk about this, and then when I'm done, I'll play, probably after the first break, I'll play Rachel Maddow last night, and also this very strange video that Joy Reid dropped yesterday before she went on television. What's happened here is wokeism is done. Woke is dead. Okay, it's over. And what we're seeing is the end of wokeism all over the place. Yesterday Tim Cook at Apple announced a fortune in new construction to bring jobs here to America. And Tim Cook, I don't know what they're going to make there. They're going to start making the iPhones in America. I hope that doesn't make them go up in price. They're already pretty expensive. But, the wokeism is done. And you're seeing all over the place wokeism take effect and being wiped out. And, Disney just announced that the head of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, who's destroyed all of the Lucasfilm properties, Indiana Jones and Star Wars, she's destroyed them through her man-hating of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, obviously. When she did that first Star Wars movie and they showed Luke Skywalker as a fat, drunk, old man, That was supposed to be George Lucas. Why do you think Luke Skywalker is named Luke Skywalker? It's George Lucas. He named him after himself. You know, and she's stepping down from Lucasfilm, which means they pushed her out because woke is dead. And what's happened in the media, the liberal media, they're still around here and there, but they're not what they once were. And there are liberals in the media that have been disappearing all over the place. And a lot of it is in the online new liberal media. And right after the election, some of the Democrat leftist Trump haters that are like social media influencer types, they started talking about how their views tanked and how they started losing followers and everything. And there's one guy who just totally disappeared. There was a guy just totally disappeared. What was his name? Bo from the Fifth Column. Anybody ever hear of Bo from the Fifth Column? Fake liberal actor portraying some hillbilly liberal. He just disappeared, and they replaced him with a woman that does the same act. And the reason that happened is that the people, a lot of people in this, there's a few reasons this has happened. A lot of people in this country that are in positions of authority, okay, over media and run major corporations, thought that BLM, critical race theory, trans stuff, or the whole world of woke, because it all falls under the big umbrella of woke, that woke was the way it was, and they felt bullied into doing things that are absurd, okay? But they felt that was what was in power, and that's what people want. And when President Trump not only won, he won in a landslide victory, winning every swing battleground state, flipping blue counties red in liberal states, you know, and all of this. They realized that woke isn't popular, that this country is a conservative country. Now, this is something that you and I have known for a long time. You know, this is a conservative country. It's just liberals have been overrepresented. And what we found out, there's been two waves of this that we're in the second wave now with MSNBC. By the way, Lester Holt from NBC Nightly News has been canned too. And he's a real piece of work, I'll tell you about him in a little bit, maybe. The first round were the online liberal influencers. And the reason that they saw their follower counts drop instantly and their views go down is because it was artificially inflated by never-Trumper forces, both liberal and Republican, okay? Establishment Republicans, establishment Democrats. And once Trump won re-election, they pulled their support, so their followers and view counts went down. With the television media, look at what we found with USAID. USAID, did you see these perversions from the NSA, by the way, that Tulsi just exposed? Oh, I don't know. I can't even read some of it on the air. But I'll do my best if we have time to get through that. Since it involves sex, maybe I'll wait for Steve. I'm not kidding. He likes that stuff. The USAID was funding thousands of people in the media all over the world. And a lot of American media, we found out, mainstream liberal American media, what we call fake news, legacy media, have been funded by USAID. And that's been cut off. So now that it's been cut off, a lot of things are starting to change. What's going on in this country in Trump's second term is what I would call a reset. It's a big reset. A reset back to normalcy or normality. I don't know. I'm behind on my coffee, so bear with me. And I have been up for almost, I did sleep for a couple hours last night, but one of my oldest and best friends is in a major crisis right now that I can't reveal to you. And it's been on my mind, and I've been trying to figure out a way, talking with other friends, how we can help this person, and they're in such a bad spot. They may even be beyond help, but so I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So bear with me as the morning goes on. I got a brand new cup of coffee over here, 4 shots of espresso. So I'll start downing that, and at some point I'll, be a little more awake. But the woke is dead. USAID was pushing a lot of this woke fake news media, and this conservative country didn't seem so conservative because of the artificial overrepresentation through USAID and Never Trumper forces of fake news liberal media. All right? And what's happening at MSNBC is the beginning of a purge. So we'll take our first break. When we get back, we'll go through the Rachel Maddow insane rant on her own air. I mean, I'm in shock. I'm surprised they didn't fire her on the spot for what she did. That has got to be, a lot of times like Joy Reid quit. They took her show away, but they were going to keep her on the payroll, like Fox did with Tucker, and she quit out of, because of her ego. And that's what they try to do. That's why they put Acosta on at midnight. So he quit, and he quit. So when you quit, you don't get the golden parachute. Remember, I told you yesterday, Don Lemon, when they fired him at CNN, they paid him $10 million. But if you quit, most of the time you don't get that big payoff. Okay, so Joy Reid messed up. So Rachel may be waiting until they give her the axe, and then she'll say, I walked out on my own, when she really didn't. But after the break, I'll share with you her rant, and they should have fired her on the spot after that show. I had a program director once, Peter Bolger, who has spent a career destroying radio stations. He gets hired. He's almost like he's a program director, and he's almost like they hire him to destroy radio stations, not to program them to have listeners. And he did this to me several times. He came in and told me, if you change the subject or you're fired. He told me that a few times. So I left, and I left the radio. Immediately said something. I didn't leave that day. I said something up and then left. But that's what happens. But Rachel Maddow should have been taken off the air by NBC for what she did yesterday. I've never seen someone do something like that. So anyway, we'll take our first break, and I want to remind you all, come today, 10 a.m., to the Spanish River Library in Boca, and come meet me and Attorney Barry Siegel. Attorney Barry Siegel is having his Revocable Living Trust workshop at the Spanish River Library in Boca, and as soon as I get off the air, I'm going to get in my car and head straight there. I'll be there at 10 a.m., and you are all invited, all right? All right, let's take our first break of the day, and we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the
smack dab in the middle of the Steve Kane Show with Brian, and a reminder that we're back to the rock and roll oldies at 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
This is John from Lighthouse Medical Center. We've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. If you have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues, please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Hi folks, Anita Mitchell here. Please join me on Tuesday at 7.
Welcome everyone. I put my new X, pinned it in the live chat. Brian Craig USA on X. Follow me there. I'll explain when we get back. All right, welcome back. It's coming up on 18 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Right before I went on the air yesterday, Mac iOS made me update Mac iOS. This happens sometimes. You know, they make you do it where you can't use the machine if you don't do it. And I had to update it. And when I updated it, it did something where I got locked out of my X that I've had for many, many years. And I sent a support ticket. You know, Elon, if you're listening, is Elon at Mar-a-Lago? And they've looked into it, but they haven't given me access to it. So I started a new X, guys. So follow me on my new Twitter, Brian Craig USA. Brian Craig USA on X. It's brand new. I know like 8,000 of you have already done that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's nice to be loved because I had nobody. It was brand new. But Brian Craig USA, because I don't know how long it's going to take for Elon Musk to get me back in my Twitter that I got locked out of. And I heard from some other people that I know off the air that that's happened to them too. That they've updated their operating system and then they get locked out of their Twitter. I don't know why that. It said there was a strange activity login, and it was right before the show, and I went into a panic because I thought, oh my goodness, my computer's been hacked. They're going to get into all my stuff. But no, it was the update. But so Brian Craig USA on X, guys, if you don't mind. Okay, so Joy Reid did this very bizarre sign-off yesterday. And then after that, a very unhinged Rachel Maddow went on the... You know, when I first heard of Rachel Maddow, she was on Air America Radio, that failed liberal talk radio attempt. That was beautiful. Remember, Randy Rhoads was there? Al Franken, Janine Garofalo, and Rachel Maddow did the mornings. And a lot of people thought that she was not live, that she recorded the show, but she would never admit it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I remember there was a debate about that. And there is no one more arrogant than Rachel Maddow. And, you know, the thing with these news people, when I first got in broadcasting, I almost went into television news off the air. And I had some friends that, there was one person, I haven't talked to them for many years, but you guys remember Brian Norcross? The hero of Hurricane Andrew, was the big guy down there in Miami. And I knew him through friends pretty well, and I had a big in, and I said, oh no, I think I'd rather talk for 3 hours than work behind the scenes at TV. I don't know if I'd ever gotten on or not. But TV news used to be news. And I remember Steve Kane, and some of you longtime listeners will remember this. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but Steve was involved in a debate at a high school. Deerfield Beach High School invited Steve to debate Michael Mayo, who at the time was a columnist for the Sun-Sentinel in Fort Lauderdale. And he's a liberal guy, I mean hardcore leftist. And this was a long time ago, before Trump came down the escalator and all that stuff. And we got invited, or Steve got invited. I was there. I wasn't speaking. And they had Steve and this columnist from the Sun-Sentinel in the front of this classroom, and they had it was overloaded classroom, mostly black students, which is important for this, what I'm going to tell you. And it was an ROTC classroom at Deerfield Beach High, but they brought in other kids that weren't ROTC. They were mostly black. The principal and the vice principal were there. They were black. And Michael Mayo kept calling Steve a right-winger, just throughout this whole thing. And then Steve says to him, he says, why do you keep calling me that? You know, and I don't remember exactly what he says. And he says, you that's like calling someone, and he said the N-word. He didn't say the N-word. He said the actual word. Okay, he didn't say the N-word, Steve. He said the actual word. Okay, in this classroom with a black principal, a black vice principal, 3/4 of the students black, you could hear a pin drop. The principal had a freaking meltdown. And I was over on the side of the room like, oh my gosh, how can I get out of here? And it became a big news story. Steve got on national television. And one of the local reporters from Channel 10, I can't remember his name, he's still on there, he's a black guy. He came and interviewed Steve at the radio studio in Coral Springs over by Wings Plus. And Steve says to the guy, and Steve didn't call anyone the N-word. He used it in a way I wouldn't use it, but there's a difference in saying the word and calling someone the word. And even some of the black students in the classroom were on television defending Steve. They had a special meeting of the school board of Broward County over this and everything. It was hilarious. Steve got on CNN and all this stuff. And Steve's talking to this reporter from Channel 10, WPLG, Channel 10. And Steve says to the reporter, well, what do you think? And the guy said, I'll never forget this, even though I can't remember his name. He said, I'm a reporter, I don't have opinions. Wow, right, that's pretty cool, huh? I'm a reporter, I don't have opinions. Oh, that was pretty cool. And what's happened with the media is they're activists now. They have nothing but opinions. Okay? They don't share the news. They tell you, and MSNBC, they're the worst at this, although they all do it. They're all left-wing in their bias. But MSNBC, led by Rachel Maddow and formerly Joyless Reid and all these people, they think that you're stupid, you don't understand. And you need to have these oracles of liberal garbage explain everything to you. They think they're teachers, which is terminally boring. So Rachel Maddow, who is virtue signaling, but she's really setting the stage for herself being fired. But when she sees it coming, or even if they get to her, she wants to get that golden parachute, right? She makes a lot of money. So she's going to tell everybody that she's standing up against the racist at MSNBC. Listen to this. This was this bizarro monologue she went on last night. She comes on, I guess, after Joyless Reid would come on.
Other nights except for Mondays. So that's a big change.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and she was talking about before that. Rachel was working like one day a week, Mondays, and making millions of dollars a year. They got a new boss who said, you can't do that. You got to work 5 days. You can't be on one day and make millions a year. So they had, I forgot her name now. I'm not good with names today, guys. I'm sorry. That's what happens when I'm behind on my coffee. I haven't had any of my second 4 shots of espresso yet. What was her name? Wagner. Alex Wagner. They got rid of Alex Wagner. This is the second time Alex Wagner's been fired by MSNBC. She was fired from there years ago. They brought her back. And Alex Wagner was doing the other 4 days a week that Rachel was getting paid millions of dollars for doing. Now they're making Rachel work 5 days a week. So they got rid of Alex Wagner too. So she started talking about that. But here she goes on the rant about joy.
PM hour, all the other nights except for Mondays. So that's a big change. An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And
You see that? Not taking another job. So they didn't fire her. They just took her show away from her, and they were still going to use her somewhere, maybe, right? Maybe as a pundit. And she couldn't do that out of ego, so she quit. I wouldn't have done it. I would have said, fine, keep paying me whatever you're overpaying me, and I'll just relax, But the ego, she couldn't handle it.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take.
Oh, is it?
I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12.
Oh.
And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Yeah, well, then start telling us. I bet her first job was paperboy. What do you guys think? I don't know. Would you like to know all these jobs that we wouldn't believe? I'd like to know that, Rachel Maddow. Tell us all the jobs you had that we wouldn't believe.
But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more. Yes. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague.
Now, if I were talking to Rachel Maddow, you guys know, you've listened to me long. What do you think I would say to Rachel with that? Can you tell me something you've learned from Joy Reid? Please be specific. And then, wouldn't you like to know what does that, is she telling the truth there? Does she does she think she learned something from her, or is she just virtue signaling?
Here at MSNBC, and personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think.
Oh.
I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows.
Oh, see, now here comes the virtue signaling foreshadowing. Because when they get rid of me, she's saying, I'm going to go out there and say, I'm not going to work with the place that fires non-white people. That's what she's doing.
As is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
Really? Just because they're not white, they should stay on the air on national television even though they suck and they have low ratings and nobody likes them? But they should still be on the air because they're not white? Can't you find some non-white people that are good and likable and have viewers?
But there's just one other piece of it that you should know. From your side of the TV screen, you will mostly see changes in terms of who's in the anchor chair. And actually, everybody who's going to be in anchor chairs from here on out are great colleagues and great at what they do. And you are not going to be disappointed in who's on our air and what you're going to be seeing. But one thing you cannot necessarily see is that the people who get our shows on the air, they're really being put through the ringer. Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building.
Most specialist producers? Now, she went to Princeton. I just went to FAU, okay? With Carrot Top went to FAU, okay? And there is a porn actress who went to FAU. But there's good people that have gone to FAU. I didn't go to Princeton, but is that proper English?
Including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building are facing being laid off. They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people and it's inefficient and it's unnecessary. And it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work. And so we don't generally do things that way. Maybe all of our folks, including most of the people who are getting this very show on the air right now, maybe they will all get new jobs here. And I hope they do, but...
Well, you know, there was... let's take the break. I'm going to be messed up, okay? But I'm going to rewind it because I want to make a point here about Ms. Virtue signaling here. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show.
Did you guys see the Trump impersonator that confronted Alec Baldwin? Oh my goodness! I can't. It's a hilarious. It's on my new X, by the way. Brian Craig USA, guys.
Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Tuesday morning and throughout the day, a high of 73 degrees with a chance of showers. Tuesday night, a low of 65 degrees with a slight chance of showers, then mostly clear. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 74 degrees. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees.
Oh.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit All
Have you followed me on my new X, guys? Brian Craig USA. It is pinned in the chat. Make sure you follow.
All year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check.
Oh, this is great. These people just don't get it.
Something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm traffic on monitors.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the paddock. Check out the exciting lineup with fabulous dinner shows like
Alec Baldwin drops an F-bomb, so I can't play it on the radio.
But... Patrick Buddy Warburton, March 20th. The Pure Zeppelin Experience, March 21st. Simply Tina on April 11th, and more. The paddock is also your best bet for great food, super OTB, and sports action with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. We are so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned, family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs,
well, thank you, Jules.
diet and fitness, and so much more. All our favorite top quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Denson, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World, Palm Beach Gardens.
If you're a homeowner or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984, with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow
I don't know.
someone else's
It's on my
license?
new X if you go and watch it. It's hilarious. It is so fun. I'm going to play some of it, but I can't play the parts with Alec Baldwin on the air. I'll play his. It was hilarious. I retweeted it, and he's the funniest man alive right now, without question. If you'd like to call in, please do. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Toll-free call. If you're on hold, hang in there. I got to get through this Rachel Maddow, Joyless Reid stuff. He probably is on TikTok or something, not YouTube.
Rogues Law Group of Delray Beach understands winning. As a member of the American Academy of Attorneys $100 million club, they've proven time and again that winning for you is their habit. Don't wait to suffer an accident. Download their app today. Be prepared and be protected by placing Rogues Injury Law in the palm of your hand. Download their mobile app now at rogues.app. That's ROBES.app. Click on rogues.com or call them today at 561-570-5700. Rogues Law Group. Winning for you and our community. Offices throughout Palm Beach County.
Just because you're enrolled doesn't mean you have to pay. At the Bio Station, West Delray, Dr. Mitch Materis,
Exactly.
therapy is here to
I don't know.
clean your youth. Hormone replacement therapy is all natural and can restore your hormones to where they were in your 20s. You'll feel younger.
We'll be back right after this, guys.
Even get your sex drive.
I don't want to lose my spot with Rachel Maddow here because it's hilarious.
Better safe with no more night shiifts. Call Dr. Matez for a free consultation today at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian Steve Kane Show. Before we get back to Rachel Maddow, I'm going to ask something on a personal note. You know, before the internet was invented, what we would do is we would ask people in the audience to help us with things because we didn't have the internet to look things up with. And this is on a very personal note. What year were you born, Mike? 99? 6? 96. Oh, well, you got me beat. I went to buy a new pair of Doc Martens, okay, for the cruise, Doc Marten boots. And I have not bought Doc Martens in a long time. And I'm wearing my Doc Martens today, but these aren't the boots. These are my shoes. And I've talked about these shoes a few times on the air. The shoes, the Doc Martens I'm wearing, which look pretty new, I bought these in 1997. So the shoes I'm wearing are 28 years old. And you can't tell, they look great. I think they look great for 28-year-old shoes. But I went to buy a new pair of Doc Marten boots, and I have not had a pair of Doc Marten boots in a long time. The last pair I had for a long time too, and wore them out. And I found out that they don't make them out of the same leather that they made the old ones out of, including the ones I'm wearing right now. And I wore the Doc Martens I'm wearing now, I wore to the shoe store. And they make them out of this cheapo leather now. It doesn't even look like leather. It looks like vinyl. They even have some that are made out of vegan leather, which is not even real leather. Does anyone know where I can get Doc Martens that have the real Doc Martens like they used to make. You know, I want to buy a pair that's going to last 28 years. These are 28 years and going. I mean, I may not ever have to buy another pair of Doc Marten shoes. But, you know, I want a pair of Doc Marten boots, and I can't get these off these cheapo leather ones that they sell now at the shoe store. If anybody knows in person, not online, but if you know someplace online, let me know. I'd rather do it in person so I can try them on. But if anybody knows where I can get real Doc Martens, please let me know. I know there's another brand that's not Doc Martens. I forgot the name of it. They look like Doc Martens. The same people make them that used to make the real Doc Martens, and it's called something else. But they don't have the yellow stitching. They have a different color stitching. I want the real Doc Martens. All right, so back to Rachel Maddow. So Rachel Maddow, they fired a whole bunch of people from MSNBC, with Joy Reid being number one. And then at NBC, they got rid of Lester Holt. Do you know how hard it is to fire? And the new executive is a white woman. Do you know how hard it is to fire black people, especially a black liberal woman? Whoa. So Rachel Maddow, she comes on after Joy Reid, and she goes on this rant calling MSNBC racist. And what I was talking about, if you're on hold, hang in there. What I was talking about is how this is her appearing to virtue signal, but what Rachel really is doing is foreshadowing her own firing. And when they get rid of her, she wants to tell everyone that it's because they're racist and she can't work there anymore because they took off all these non-white people off the air that suck and no one watches. And, yeah, I know. It's crazy, you know, that for them to expect to have viewers. And, you know, the thing about Rachel Maddow, they've already taken the first step to try to get her to quit. Remember, she's only been working 1 day a week. Now they're making her work 5 for the many millions they pay her. So they're hoping that'll get her to quit. And if that doesn't, might eventually fire her. All right, so let me rewind. Because now Rachel, she's moved on to talking about the behind-the-scenes people that are in trouble.
Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building, are facing being laid off. They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people. And
okay, now let me finish.
It's inefficient and it's unnecessary, and it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work.
Okay, wow. I mean, this is on the air. She's attacking her employer. Could you imagine if I was talking about the radio station ownership like this? It'd be the last show. Mike would shut the mics off, you know, because you don't do that. I mean, it's insane. She's trying to get fired. I bet you Rachel Maddow knows where to get the docs. Yeah. She probably wears Doc Martens too, Rachel Maddow. Would you be surprised? I'm sure lesbians wear Doc Martens. I don't care. I'll still wear them. And she probably would. Do you think she's a Timberland girl? I don't know. Okay. Just to give an example. They're paying her, what, $5 million a year, right? $1 million a night? The great movie with William Hurt and Albert Brooks and Jack Nicholson, Broadcast News. Ever see Broadcast News? Oh, man, great movie. Albert Brooks, and really one of his best performances. And they have a scene there where they're laying everybody off. And Jack Nicholson plays the anchor who makes like $20 million a year. And he's feeling bad that they're firing all these people. And the executive says, well, you know, you could take a couple million off your salary. We could save a lot of these people. And he just looks at him like, are you out of your mind? Don't ever say that again. Rachel Maddow could give up one of her millions a year and save all these behind-the-scenes little people that she's whining about, the most specialist producer. How many of the most specialist producers could she save by just keep one of my millions a year and let's keep the most specialist producers? But I don't see her doing that, do you? Virtue signaling.
So we don't generally do things that way. Maybe all of our folks, including most of the people who are getting this very show on the air right now, maybe they will all get new jobs here, and I hope they do. But in the meantime, being put in this kind of limbo, The anxiety and the discombobulation is off the charts at a time when this job already is extra stressful and difficult.
Oh, yeah, that 1 hour a night when you have a whole staff of people. My goodness. What is stressful about her? She's got a whole staff of people that do everything for her. She's been working one night a week for a long time, making millions of dollars a year.
It is not news for me to tell you that the press and freedom of the press are under attack in a way that is really, it's a big deal for our country. It's very visceral for us here. I know that the business of the press is not an easy thing, and I know that no job is forever. But I think I'm safe in saying for all of us anchors who you know through the TV, please know that what pains us the most is not what happens to us.
Oh, yes.
It is what happens to our coworkers on whom we depend. And
yeah, the ones that she won't give one of her millions up for a year. I don't need 5 million. Take one of my millions and let's help these poor people. What a bunch of nonsense.
Who you don't necessarily know, but we respect and love them and depend on them. And did I mention we respect them? This is a difficult time in the news business, but it does not need to be this difficult. We welcome new voices to this place and some familiar voices to new hours. It's going to be great, honestly, and we want to grow and succeed and reach more people than ever and be resilient and stay here forever. I also believe, and I bet you believe, that the way to get there is by treating people well. Finding good people, good colleagues,
here comes the fake tears.
Doing good work with them, and then having their back. That we could do a lot better on. A lot better.
Yeah. Now, she did also, let me see, that clip ends before the other part. Or maybe she said it already and I'd forgotten. Let me pull up the other clip of her. Those fake tears, the crocodile tears. By the way, did any of you see the Trump impersonator that confronted Alec Baldwin? I cannot play all of it because Alec Baldwin used some salty language. Okay, now here is Joy Reid, and she dropped this video before she went on the air last night. Listen.
My show had value, and that what I was doing had value.
Really, what value did she offer?
And in the end, I try not to cry on TV. On TV, so I apologize.
Oh, yeah. You can apologize. All right, now listen, I looked at the clock. Let's take our last break of the hour. We'll be back.
The cold. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is your time to really focus on wellness of mind, body and spirit. Advertisements Resort is now open on Singer Island, a next generation luxury wellness resort merging Eastern principles and Western luxury. The 4-story wellness spa is like nothing you've experienced before. Hydrothermal water therapy, hot and cold pools, steam, sauna room, inhalation salt therapy chamber, and Arctic chill fountains, all designed to detox and relax. All located on the picture-perfect beaches and impressive facilities of Amrit Ocean Resort. Face and body treatments, including Reiki experiences, reflexology and massage. Explore all available offers at amritocean.com. That's AMRITOcean.com.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus Coral Springs. Just the way you like them. Plum, tender, and delicious. Crispy on the outside with succulent on the inside. Everything homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Come together
Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
My show had value, and that I'm sorry. That that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I think this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize.
Nope.
And then it kind of, and then
notice how when she's down, she's all of a sudden talking all ghetto. I'm sorry, she's talking, all of a sudden she's talking all ghetto. I've never really heard her talk that way before.
Try not to cry on TV. And I think this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it kind of, and then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is my
okay. Oh wow, some guy, is that her husband? Some guy came up to her and handed her some tissues, and she said thank you. Okay, here's the thing with Joy Reid. Joy Reid is a terrible racist person. She has said vile things. Remember, she was talking about white people eating mayonnaise. We eat mayonnaise on white bread. Do we eat mayonnaise on white bread? I mean, that's the stereotype of that. I don't know. I don't even like mayonnaise. Joy Reid came up. She was on the weekends for a long time, but she came up during the prime time during this rise of wokeness and BLM after George Floyd. That's when she really, hit her thing. And there was this move that it was time for white people to shut up and listen. And when she talks about adding value, there was, let me get the names of this right. Okay, because I looked this up because I wanted to talk about this. Okay. There was an Oscars that was a few years ago. It was the last time I watched the Oscars, and I only watched it then because they were doing this stupid thing. They had 3 lady hosts. It was Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, and Regina Hall. And I've always been a fan of Wanda Sykes. She was friends with Roseanne. She was one of her writers when she on her show. And Roseanne, who follows me on my Twitter that I'm locked out of. I got to get back in that, Elon, if you're listening. They had this Oscars. It was hosted by Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall. And Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes are black. Amy Schumer is white. And it is the most racist thing I've ever seen. And you guys can go online. This is online. It's on YouTube. And you can watch some of the highlights of the 3 of them together. And the way it is they were the 2 wise black women who, as black people, understand the real way of the world. And Amy Schumer was just the stupid white girl that doesn't understand anything and is stupid because white people don't know. And while they would talk, Amy Schumer would be behind them looking stupid, having this look on her face that was in those old racist films of the 30s where there would be, you watch a movie in the 30s and the main characters get on a train and the porter on the train is a black guy in a white jacket and he's got this weird look on his face with the big eye. You know that racist thing? That's the look that Amy Schumer had because they were the wise black women. You ever watch The Rookie on ABC? I used to be a big fan of The Rookie, and then it went woke, and I stopped watching it. They had a spinoff that failed called Rookie FBI, and they had the black actress who's very funny. She was on, what's that show, Mike, where they were cops? It was on the Comedy Channel. And the lieutenant was gay and wore the shorts. Reno 911. Yes, hilarious show. She was the black woman on Reno 911, which was very, very funny. And she was on the spinoff of The Rookie called Rookie FBI. And she was a guidance school counselor who decided to become an FBI agent. And she became, and I watched it because she's funny on Reno 911. I was a fan of The Rookie. Every episode, no one understood anything other than her, who's been an FBI agent right out of the academy. But she's the wise black woman who understands the way of the world, and all these other people are just a bunch of stupid white people. Come on, they were born racist and stupid and don't understand. Remember when Jimmy Kimmel was on one of the award ceremonies? Was it the Oscars or the Emmys? And that guy from Blackish who used to be on Law and Order, and he said, "Don't white explain it to me, Jimmy." And he you know, so, remember that? So, Joy Reid, I know this is not very politically correct, but it's a truth that we have to share. I don't know. Joy Reid has this critical race theory mindset that people in this country are stupid, and she has to go on television with Rachel Maddow and explain the way things really are to us, because as white people, we don't understand. And the arrogance of that, you know, and I know you in this audience are smarter than me on a lot of things and most things, and, you know things I don't know. I would never be so arrogant as to think I am smarter than you in the audience. But Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid and the fake news media do. They think they're smarter than all of you. Okay? And that's the way of it. And what's happened with the media, they're no longer the news. They are opinionators, but they're a poison in our society. The mainstream legacy media are a poison in our society that think that the American people are stupid, that you must be educated by them. They're the oracle of knowledge. Now, Lester Holt, who they also fired, this guy's a real piece of work. I know they ran a promo for the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt about a year ago, 6 months or a year ago, and I saw this. I haven't watched the Nightly News since I was a kid. But if you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some calls after the top of the hour, okay? At 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. They ran this promo, and again, this is a paraphrase, but this is what Lester Holt said. He says in this promo they ran for the NBC Nightly News that every night he decides what's news and then presents it to you. It's not for him to decide what's news. It's for him to share the news with us. Now, you only have a certain time frame on the air. Like I have a certain time. I got to take a break in 4 minutes. So, I have to decide what I'm going to talk about, except on Fridays when it's open phones, and you guys, it's up to you what we talk about. But the other days, I got to decide. But I'm not here saying this is the news and I'm telling you about it and nothing else is the news. I might tell you what I think is the biggest story of the day or something, like yesterday with the Bongino thing, which I am going to talk about again today because Jan Bongino is amazing, and I want to talk about what happened yesterday with that and the importance of Bongino again, because I don't know. I'll wait till, I don't want to get sidetracked. I'll talk about that later. But the news, when you've got a guy like Lester Holt who thinks he decides what news is, he decides what news they're going to broadcast on his program, but he doesn't decide what's news and what's not. And the only news is what fits in the 24 minutes or 23 minutes that he's on the air, if that much. The arrogance of that. And President Trump, what he has done, all this that is happening with the media, it's like Tim Cook bringing Apple production to the United States. Kathleen Kennedy, feminazi, to take one of Rush Limbaugh's words. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Out at Disney. Joyless Reid and a bunch of other liberal jerks out. Acosta out. When in the first campaign, when President Trump started talking about fake news, it was the beginning of this. Now at CPAC over the weekend, Maloney, the super cool prime minister of Italy, she spoke at CPAC. It was on tape. I watched some of it, and one thing she said, and she's very conservative. I mean, she's awesome. If she were here, she'd be MAGA. She is MAGA. She says, The people don't believe their lies anymore. The people don't believe their lies anymore. That's right. People don't believe MSNBC or CNN. And even what Fox is doing right now, I want to talk about, because I watched some of that yesterday and I want to talk about them and take your calls. People don't believe their lies anymore. And President Trump has woken the world up to that. Now, I want to remind everyone, today is the day. 3 hours and 2 minutes from now, I'll be over at the Spanish River Library in Boca with Attorney Barry Siegel. Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group are having their Revocable Living Trust workshop this morning at 10 a.m. I will be there. You are all invited, and I hope to see you there, guys, okay? The Spanish River Library is in Boca. You can Google it and find out, or call Attorney Barry Siegel's office, and they'll give you directions. But I think you can just put it into your map. At this point, it's too late for the reservations, and I do hope that you come out and support me and our radio station and Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group, and I do look forward to seeing you all there. That is today at 10 a.m. at the Spanish River Library in Boca Raton. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take some calls after the top of the hour. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, yesterday when I got locked out of my X, it was right before the show. All my show prep was on there. I couldn't even access it. And I pulled up my Twitter without being logged in because I got locked out. It was showing me stories from 2023. So I had none of my, so I did yesterday's show with no show prep, all off the top of my head. It can be done. You know, a lot of these things are crutches. All right, guys, if you're on hold, hang in there. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with your calls and a whole bunch more. I'm Brian Craig. Be back right after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD.
It is hot as heck. Oh, welcome everyone. No, he's not playing Gallagher. What people ask, what is Mike doing on his cell phone? He, Mike, one of the things he does is all the shows he board ups on, including this one, he records them and uploads them as a podcast to the radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. And what he's doing is he's time-stamping everything I'm talking about. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'll give you an example. Let me see if I can. Let me find it, then I'll show you. Well, I can't show you right now. Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show. If you're on hold, stand by, and I'd like you to talk about it. Today's not open phones, guys, and I have a ton of stuff to talk about. So please, I'm going to ask. I'm not as strict as normal, so I'm going to kind of keep it to talk about the things I brought up today. It is not open phones. I know I can get a little loose on that sometimes, but not today. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Didn't I tell you? There's only 2 openings on the board. And I go, it's Doug. I mean, if they had your name on a roulette wheel, I'd sit at the roulette wheel and bet on Doug all day. I mean, I'm telling you, there's only 2 openings on the board. And I did not take them in the order in which the calls were received. I just reached over, and it was you. That's not a bad thing, Doug. It's just, it just seems like when I go to that phone, the first time in the second hour, it's always you. But anyway, what's on your mind?
All right. Well, I'm glad that you took me up. Joy Reid, man, I'm so glad she's gone. I got a feeling that they dumped her because nobody was listening to her, and now that they're not getting the government money, that she wasn't earning her keep, so they have to get rid of her. And I think that's what the whole all these liberal stations are going to have the same.
Do you know how I ended up getting hooked up with Steve Kane? I'll tell you, I don't know if I've talked about this so much, but I don't think I did because Norm Kent was such a monster. Now he's dead, I can talk about it. I don't know if you've been around long enough to remember Norm Kent. Okay, he did mornings on this radio station, and I had that 20-something show that was on from 3 a.m. till 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Steve wanted to fire Norm Kent, okay, and his partner Steve was one of the owners of that radio station. And one of his partners did not want to fire Norm Kent. And somehow Norm Kent and I both got the axe the same week. And I got fired by Steve fired Norman, and then his partner fired me to show that he has testicles and a penis, and I can fire people too. So I'm going to fire Brian. Okay? And about 2 months later, Norm came to Steve's partner and worked out some deal where they overrode Steve and they were going to bring Norm Kent back. And I caught wind of this, and Steve caught wind, and Steve made a deal. I just had this 1 day a week show, and Steve made a deal that he wouldn't gripe about it if they'd hire me back. Okay? And Steve and I knew each other then, but I didn't know him that well. And then Steve went on the air because he was not only one of the owners, he was the program director, and he announced Norm Kent. His show was on from 9 to noon then, Steve. He announced on the air, Norm Kent's coming back tomorrow. And Brian Craig. The phone lines lit up with pissed off people, and they were all pissed off that I was coming back. And I came to the radio station to get my keys back that they took from me when they fired me a couple months before. And I go into the studio to say hi to Steve, and my car did not even have a radio in it. I lived in this. You heard the commercial for Parker Playhouse? I used to live across the street from Parker Playhouse, which is beautiful, and it's very expensive. But back when I lived there, it was the hood, okay? And someone stole my radio out of my car, and I couldn't afford to put a new one in. So I wasn't listening to this on the way in, and I get into the radio station. I go in, and Steve says, every line on the board is lit, and they're all pissed off that you're coming back. So then I got a 5-day-a-week show out of that. So the point of this is, it's not just for me to promote myself. What I'm telling you is, you've got to have people interested in you to have a show, whether it's on radio or television. And one of the prerequisites is to have people that watch you or listen to you. And if people aren't interested and aren't watching you, like Joyless Reid, you're out. This is not a charity. You're not on the air because your value is that you have viewers that are willing to spend money on the advertisers that are supporting the network or the radio station. Your value isn't to share your pearls of wisdom. You've got to have people that are watching you, and she has no viewers.
Yeah, no viewers, but when you have somebody spilling all that poison that she was saying every damn day, and then you're getting free money from the government, you think, all right, well, we got the government money. Well, we'll let her go. She's doing something we like, even though nobody likes her. But
exactly. No, I am too. I appreciate the call. I'll tell you the one last thing about that. When I went in, Steve says, nobody's even called about Norm Kin coming back. No one cares. And I was like, well, so that worked out. That's how I got on Friday this week. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. I hope this goes better than yesterday. Good morning to you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I don't want to bring up yesterday, but I meant that he curses a lot and you.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly. I know. I could tell that's what you meant. Because I don't curse.
Not so fast. You never gave me. You don't curse like he does. My God.
I could curse on my podcast and on YouTube all day and all night. I do sometimes. I slip sometimes, but no, I don't choose to curse. But that's not what you. Now you're just lying to yourself or me. That's not what you were talking. I'm not. Okay.
You have this thing in your head that I don't want you to be.
You're not even aware. Okay. Well, anyway, what's on your mind today?
All right. The thing on my mind today is basically I don't listen to her because she is a racist. The only time I hear about her is on Fox and all these other shows. Right-wing radio and podcasts and television have kept them alive.
Well, I'll tell you this about Joy Reid, okay? And I'll throw this out. Do you think that's what he meant, that I don't use profanity on the radio? I don't think that's what Richie meant, but I think that you believe that's what. But anyway, back to Joy Reid. I've not talked about Joy Reid in a long time, and I only have today, and then I did on my podcast when the news first broke on Sunday, is because it's an important story everyone's talking about. In the past, on my podcast or on YouTube, when I've talked about Joy Reid, and I have her in the title and the thumbnail for my YouTube video or in the title of my podcast, those episodes have the fewest listens of any of my podcasts when I talk about Joy Reid. And the last time I did, she did something controversial, and I'm not exaggerating. It had about half of a lot of people listen to my podcast, guys. I mean, I have over 1 million listeners a month on my YouTube channel, but on my podcast, I have even more people listen to my podcast. I've been doing that for many, many years, so I have a really large audience there. And when I've done episodes on Joy Reid in the past, those are some of my lowest listened to episodes. And when I did the one last time, I said, I'm not going to talk about her anymore. Nobody cares about Joy Reid, And now she's in the news because they got rid of her. So there's but that's the way it is.
Same thing. If you're selling a product, it's like a mall. And you remember the trends of this country, people's trends. You just have to look at the polls. Trump has such approval ratings, and these people are trying to sell garbage. You don't go along with what the people want, you're going to lose your job. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Change with the time. And they never do. That's always, their whole stick is Trump is bad. Trump is bad. Trump is orange man. I mean, he's a lawless, he's a felon. I mean, these people are so sick.
Well, the thing is, this is one of the things I miss about Rush, because Rush used to say something that we now know is not true, and I think he would own this. But based on what we knew at the time, it was he's talked about this a lot about why, because people are like, why are the liberal media putting out this liberal garbage that no one's watching? And Rush Limbaugh said, I mentioned this last week. He said, liberal mainstream media is the only business in America that thinks it's smarter than their consumer. And if the consumer, which are the viewers, don't watch it, they're just going to double down on it because they know better. Now we know that's not the case. They've got the federal government through USAID and funding it. So they're like public radio. It doesn't matter what they put on. They've got the government funding through the USAID, and that's why they've been in business selling this garbage. And I'll tell you what's going to be next, other than Rachel Maddow's obviously on her way out. That's why she did that virtue signaling thing. But the views on the block next. And I don't sit around and take joy in people losing their jobs. But these are poison, terrible people.
Let me say this to you really quick, okay? You always said if you don't like what I'm saying, go to another station. I mean, I like your show. I like you. I enjoy it in the morning. There's so many alternatives that I could go to, but guess who I pick? So that the reason I say
that is I didn't say that when I know that this is the best show in the market. I'm sorry. This is the best show in the market. And if somebody goes over to another radio station, they're going to come back home real quick. Okay? And when I tell people to, when Cephalo was on, right, with Manny, people would call in. Oh boy, Manny used to be my boss when I worked at iHeart in Miami. Oh my goodness, do I have a story about Manny that I will never tell, ever? And he probably doesn't remember it. But he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy. But I did, But anyway, I used to tell people, turn on Cephalo, and they would be like, and people would say, what are you doing? What are you doing? A friend of mine works at another radio station in another market, and he heard me do that once, and he called me. He said, if I did that, I'd be off the air. I said, well, come on. Let them listen to. If they listen to Cephalo and Manny or whatever crap they got there now, they'll appreciate me even more. And they'll be back real quick. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like a correction. All right, Richie, take care. I don't believe about what you said yesterday, but that's cool. And I don't think he believes it. He just can't apologize. It's tough to admit you did something wrong. Okay. If you're on hold, stand by. Don't forget, today at 10 a.m., 2 hours and 46 minutes from now, I will be at the Spanish River Library with Attorney Barry Siegel. And you are all invited, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am, okay? The Spanish River Library in Boca, you can put it in your iMaps, your Google Maps, your navigation, or Google it, and we'll see you there, okay? 10 a.m. today, 2 hours and 46 minutes from now. Okay, we'll take our first break of the second hour and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888.
Show with Brian, and a reminder that we're back to the rock and roll oldies at 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies Channel.
Ugh. My shirt, my collar got twisted. That's what I was doing.
We are an energy saving and installation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on a first-come, first-served basis. Rebate programs for low to moderate income families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge. You can use this money for insulation and radiant barrier. Up to $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters up to $3,750 available. AC units up to $10,000 available. Electric panel upgrades up to $6,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form.
When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office.
We'll be back right after this, guys.
In one of those big labs. That's why I do any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab
Lab Test Now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 99 FM, and anywhere in the world at
Alrighty, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. Someone's been on hold for 40 minutes. Before I get, let me just see who this is. All right, you're on the air. What, Mike and Louisiana. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
You've been on hold 40 minutes.
I know.
Oh, bam. What did you forget what you called about, or what? Yeah.
No, I've got it. You know, she talked about all these backstage people that make the show work, right? The researchers and the producers and stuff. If she was a well-liked person, then one, she wouldn't be being fired. But if she was a well-liked person, then these people would follow her like people followed Tucker Carlson when he left Fox, right?
Well, where is she going to go?
Where she's going to go? That's
nowhere.
The thing. Nowhere she. And by the way, Alec Baldwin is a mean, nasty person.
Well, I can play some of this, but I can't play a Trump impersonator. Did you see it, Mike? A Trump impersonator, who's one of the best Trump impersonators I've ever seen, confronted Alec Baldwin on the streets of New York and in front of his apartment. I can't play the parts with Alec because he threatened to kill him, but he dropped the F-bomb. So we got to stay close to the dump button, Mike. Okay. So this I'll play some of this. This is let me find it. I got it right here. Okay. This is a Trump impersonator, and just let me describe it because it's a video. Alec Baldwin is in front of his apartment building in New York, and he's taking all of his crap out of the back of this SUV, his luggage and everything, and this Trump impersonator is talking to him. Okay, let's listen.
Alec, it's your favorite president. Look, Alec, I will offer you a total pardon, because I want to be friends, right? I want to be friends. I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman if you kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec.
Is this guy good? I don't know who this is. Do you know who this is? He's hilarious.
Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right? He did that impersonation of me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated. Look at that suitcase. Unbelievable. Well, Alec, if you don't want that pardon for murdering that woman in cold blood.
Now, he is about 6 inches from Alec Baldwin saying this. I mean, this guy's he's good.
You can call it first degree, you can call it whatever you want, but it was not good. She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for confronting the man who took me out, who killed me.
Okay, now Alec Baldwin's going to come up. Hold on, I'll mute this part. Hold on.
And that's okay.
He's going to come up and use the F word. So
yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, you got a camera on me? The ring? No, it's the ring.
When he gets past the F word,
we love the children. We're doing great deals for the children.
He threatens the guy. He threatens to snap. He says, I'll snap your effing neck. Now, keep in mind, Alec Baldwin has murdered a woman and shot another. And he just threatened this guy's life, which is a crime. He said, I will snap your effing neck. Okay, I fast-forwarded through that. Oh, no, he did it again. Oh. He said it twice. But I got it, Mike. I got it. Okay, so we can't play Alec Baldwin. I hope I got it. Is the delay on? You didn't hear it? Okay, I got it. Mike didn't hear it. He said it a few times. But that impersonator is... great. He deserves an award. He should get a White House visit. He's very good. And that takes a lot of guts to do what he did.
You know, this is the same guy that quite a few, it's been 10 or 15, 20 years, but remember, this is the same guy, Alec Baldwin, that called his 12-year-old daughter, who he had at the time with Kim Basinger, Ireland, a fat pig. He's a
Yeah. What was it? Was it Alec Baldwin or David Hasselhoff who was eating the cheeseburger drunk with the daughter, his young daughter there? I think that was Hassel.
That was Hasselhoff.
Oh yeah, that was great. All right, Mike. All right, I let you go a little long because you held for 40 minutes. All right, let's take another call, and then we'll wait for the delay. The delay is re-engaged. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee.
Yeah, you guys are despicable. First of all, I'm going to talk about who I really think mattered over the weekend, and that was Kendrick Lamar when he had Trump in the Super Bowl arena, and Kendrick just smacked him left and right. He did the #1 song in the world.
Oh, Kendrick Lamar, he's that no talent. Wait a minute, that's that no talent that played at the halftime?
You got talent?
Yes. What are you? What are you, Gary Coleman? What are you, Gary Coleman? What you talking about, Willis? Is that what you just said to me?
Man, you sound so stupid.
I have a talent.
You do?
Sure.
What?
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. I am doing it now.
That's your talent, being a bigot?
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Joy Reid?
Kendrick. Well, Joy Reid is definitely coming back.
Where?
Anywhere.
Where's she gonna be?
Dude, there's the internet.
Did you watch her last night?
She can be on the internet.
Did you watch her? Did you watch her? Did you watch her last night?
Let me talk.
Oh, you didn't even watch her last show. See, this is why she's off the air. Even I didn't tell you what to think. I asked you if you watched her last night.
What?
Did you watch Joy Reid's last show last night?
No.
That's why she's off the air. You're not even watching her.
Oh yeah, you're so smart. You're you know, you give stupidity a bad name.
You watch me. You watch and listen. Hold on a second. You watch and listen to me, but not Joy Reid.
No.
Yes.
I woke up to you.
Yeah, but you
listen to Joy Reid the rest of the day.
But you didn't on her last show. When's the last time you watched her show? When's the last time you watched her?
The internet's stupid. I can hear it all day.
When's
Joy Reid count?
You can, but you don't.
Yeah, I do.
When's the last time you watched her?
About a half hour ago.
Really? Where'd you watch her?
Yeah, really.
Where'd you watch her?
On the internet.
That doesn't help her. You got to watch her on television. That's she.
YouTube.
Really? What was she talking about?
The fact that Trump is embarrassing himself.
Really? To be more specific, what was she wearing?
What kind of stupid question is that?
Because I don't believe you. I don't. No, it is not. It's not open phones. You're like Richie, that with the vanilla thing. See, he's not. He's her fan, but he doesn't even watch her. If you can't even get viewers on your final broadcast that tell people that they're fans of yours, you got no audience. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. When we come back, there's much more to talk about. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the rock and roll music on the True Oldies Channel.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Tuesday morning and throughout the day, a high of 73 degrees with a chance of showers. Tuesday night, a low of 65 degrees with a slight chance of showers, then mostly clear. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 74 degrees. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long.
Oh, do you have the mic set up for Joe?
Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Yeah. Today and Thursday, they told me.
I-95 approaching Gateway Boulevard. White lane is blocked by that collision.
That's what Mike told me.
Call the traffic tip line. Pound some official keyword West Palm traffic.
Sure you will.
I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm
I'll
Beach
find
Kennel
out.
Club. It's showtime in the paddock. Check out the exciting lineup with fabulous dinner
See, even
shows like
even
the music of Bobby
Renee's not watching her.
Patrick Putty Warburton, March 20th. The Pure Zeppelin Experience.
That's how bad it is.
Simply Tina on April 11th and more. The paddock is also your best bet for great food.
Pretty sure it's still that mic in a second.
Sports action with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
My name is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. Over the years, I've treated thousands and thousands of patients.
They really should have the numbers on the stand, on the mic stand, so you know the number on the board, like 1, 2, 3 or something. You know what I mean? So you don't have to guess. So the board.
Over the years, most of my practice
Last
is
time
laser with
that's
robotic
been linked to
lasers.
this mic
The
ever
robot
since.
Okay.
which
So I'm
rotates constantly around the
like
area.
99.9%
Most lasers do
sure.
not do that.
Yeah.
So if you wanna come
I
in
still
for a
have that
free
1% in my head that
consultation,
might
always
not
here,
be it.
welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6
You
days a
know what?
week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your X-rays, you can bring your CAT
Is it coming
scans,
at the 8,
whatever you
8:30
have,
break?
bring it.
That's what I
Look
was
at it.
told.
I would
So I'll
do that
test
free
at
of
the
charge.
top of the hour, make sure.
Okay.
Double check.
973
So we got
0710
so let me call
974
Scott at 8, then we got Siegel at 8:13.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're at 8 o'clock an hour.
At All Year, we offer same-day AC service and installation. Need to stay cool? Yes,
Oh.
all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833 all year. That's 833 all year.
For a limited time, save up to 30% off new air conditioners and repairs with All Year Cooling.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta, and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to
The Philippines, welcome.
and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Donna from Jupiter. I'm calling to share my...
Guys, that's my new ex. Follow me there, guys, if you don't mind. Brian Craig USA. I just started that yesterday. Brian Craig USA on X. Since I got locked out of my other account. I don't know how long. Has anybody been locked out of their account before? How long does it normally take?
Speaking of having your money work for you. So we got in touch with him, and he went above and beyond trying to locate all our diversifications. He answered all our questions clearly and returned every phone call. He recommended an annuity that enabled us to get a safe monthly income for life. So I just want to tell everyone, if you're in need of additional income, especially with the high cost of everything these days, please call.
I'm checking my spam. I've been checking. When I got locked out, I did a support ticket. They got back to me right away, but the second phase, that's taken a while. It's been a day. When I updated Mac iOS, it messed up and I got locked out. When it rebooted to log back in with the new iOS, it registered it as a suspicious login attempt and locked me out. So I started a new one, Brian Craig USA, and almost have 8,000 followers already. I just started it like yesterday after I got off the air. I didn't do anything, I just... All right. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Let me take another call. Then I want to share something else. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is Wilkerson.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, that was a great call from Renee in Harlem. Real supporter of Joy.
Oh, yeah. I know. Doesn't watch it?
I'm surprised that he listens to you every single day. It seems like he stays up with the show, and anytime anybody mentions him, he seems to remember it. So, I don't have any problem with people that think that they're one thing or another, but if he's an American person, he's fooling himself. And Joy Reid, she's un-American, so if you even support that person, then you're un-American as well. The way I see it is that Lester Holt, the black Uncle Fester, he's leaving because he realizes that there's no narrative left for them to run on. All of this is going to fall to shambles. The mainstream media has no following in the first place at this point. And they're scared.
Well, what they've lost is credibility, okay? And you've got to have credibility with your audience. I mean, or to have a following. If you can't. They've lost all credibility with their own. Why do you think someone like Renee is listening to me and not a liberal jerk like her?
Because it's not entertaining, and it's always the same wash. It's a broken record almost. These people have no other way to get their word out except for hate. But the whole way of I kind of don't know Renee on a personal level, but listening to the way he speaks and the way he thinks, I almost feel like he's a homosexual man. You know what I mean?
No.
That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
The way that man speaks is he's upset at life or something, and if it's not a racism thing, then it's something else. But he seems like a lonely person that's locked away from society almost. Well,
that radio fills a void for the lonely. A lot of lonely people listen to talk shows, and that's awesome. I love our lonely people out there. I don't know what Renee's just an old-fashioned racist like Joy Reid. But he's not even watching her, and he hasn't watched her. He couldn't even remember the last time he watched her. Come on. I watched her last night. For about 5 minutes because I wanted to see what she did, and she looked nuts. And she was wearing a track suit, and it was a track. It's hard for me to say track suit, and it was a one that was made for her show. Read Out. And it had the MSNBC logo on it. She looked like an idiot. It was so bizarre.
I would tip you if I was online right now, but just because you had to watch it. But the whole scenario with Trump right now is really, really. I love the whole way that he's going at them, full steam ahead, so they have no way to respond, and it's almost breaking all of their narratives because he's going with his agenda and his man.
That's right.
He doesn't but he's moving the way that we all wanted him to, and I'm happy as I could be.
That's right. All right, I appreciate the call, man. Take care from Wellington. Okay, I want to play a clip here, which is very good, from Steve Witkoff. He's Trump's top negotiator. Maybe you can negotiate that syndication deal I'm working on with the Bongino people. No, I'm just kidding. I tell you, I did a whole YouTube video this morning on this Bongino thing that happened yesterday. So if you guys watch me on YouTube, go and check that out. I talked about a lot of things I probably shouldn't have, and I probably should delete the video, but I'm not. So I'm going to get a lot of garbage from that video. I'm going to tell you what happened to me yesterday. You wouldn't believe what happened to me yesterday. But if you watch the video, you'll hear me talking about it. But before I play this, I want to talk about Fox and Bongino. Dan Bongino got a little update. He's not going to be just a deputy director at the FBI. He is going to be the deputy director. He's the number 2 guy at the FBI. Bongino, number 2. And I was talking about this, but I had during the show yesterday, I had a couple of crises going on. Okay, one of them is I got locked out of my Twitter right before showtime that had all my show prep on it, which sucked. And then there's one of my oldest friends that I've been friends with my whole life is in a really terrible place and situation right now. and I don't know if I can help them at all. But I've been, that's been on my mind. So I was in a bit of a crisis on the air yet. Remember I was talking the other day, don't text me with problems while I'm on the air, wait till after 9. But people can't, everybody knows I'm up early, so people text me at hours and tell me things. So I had a lot on my mind yesterday during the show. And then we had this technical problem with Steve, which I have remedied. And that was going on yesterday was a rough day. And then what happened after the show yesterday was one of the most bizarre days of my entire career yesterday. And I talked about it in this YouTube video that I should delete, but I'm not. So go and look at it. I made a video when I was driving into the radio station this morning talking about these things that are going to have my phone ring. If I did not have my phone on Do Not Disturb right now, I'd be getting calls. But if people saw that video that I was talking to yesterday, but so what? But I do want to mention something about Dan Bongino that I know I talked about this yesterday, so this will be brief. But I didn't see much press coverage of this yesterday. Dan Bongino, I watched his open monologue yesterday about this. He's still going to be on the air for about a week, which I'm surprised. Hegseth was off the air immediately, and he's going to be the number 2 guy at the FBI. And I imagine what's going on is they're doing the security check before they get, the background check, which he'll pass. But, he's not starting work immediately. But I want you to understand something. Dan Bongino has done something that I've not known anyone else to do. His radio show is nationally. When Rush went off, those stations split between Bongino, not even, but there was a split between the stations that carried Rush between Bongino and those no talents that they have on there, Buck Sexton and Clay Aiken, okay? And Bongino's they're on more, but they split the stations. His podcast, which also airs on different platforms online, is probably one of the top 5 most watched and listened to podcasts in the world. And he makes many millions of dollars a year of income on that. And he's got a family that he supports off of that. And when someone finds that kind of success, the extended family's being supported off of that. He also has a bunch of people that work for him on both programs that live off of that income that they earn. And he's walked away from that. And why has he done it? And this is what I don't know if I made clear yesterday, but I had so much going on during yesterday's show that I'm sure I said this, but I'm going to say it again. He walked away from that fortune, which his entire family relies upon, and those who work for him, to do one thing: bring to justice the people that tried to kill President Trump. And then when they failed, lock him up in prison for the rest of his life. That's the most patriotic thing I've seen a civilian do in my lifetime in this country. Next to Giuliani at Ground Zero and Beamer and the other heroes of Flight 93 that brought the plane down over Pennsylvania before it got to D.C. But those are heroics. But he has walked. The way I would describe what Bongino did is this. It would be like Bill O'Reilly at the peak of his fame with his primetime Fox show left that show to go think about it, to bring to justice the people that tried to kill President Trump. That's why he's doing it. That's a big deal. I've never seen, and he's not some old money guy. A lot of these guys that President Trump picks, they're rich. Right? So they can leave their company. They got hundreds of millions in the bank. They might even be billionaires. Bongino's new money. Okay? New money. I'm not saying he's going to be hurting, but there's a lot of people around him that he's supporting. And I'm not going to compare him to Rush because nobody's Rush, but I have never known someone to walk away from what he walked away from. to do a patriotic job. This isn't just, okay, I'm going to be FBI director now. He is on a mission to bring to justice the people that tried to kill President Trump and put him in prison for the rest of his life. That is amazing what he's doing. Amazing. Now, Fox, you know, they're not, how much coverage did this get on Fox yesterday? You know, half the cabinet are Fox people, and Fox fired Bongino, if you remember, so they're not going to put him up as this big deal and explain what he has walked away from, because they want to look at him as a loser because they fired him. He did this great success after he left Fox. Well, he had it before, but, you know, he kept it going. And I've never known someone to do what he's done. And this is, you know, now I don't want to take away from anyone. You know, everyone in the Trump cabinet you know, Pete Hegseth and Tulsi, all of them are doing great work, and Kash Patel and all of that. But what Bongino is doing, he is on a direct, you know, when he was a Secret Service agent, his job, he was on the presidential detail for President Obama. Notice I didn't say former. That's just some crap they throw in there to try to demean him. And you know what they say, as a Secret Service agent, you to take a bullet for the president. And Secret Service agents have done that. And you saw those Secret Service agents in Butler. They had a couple of boobs that couldn't find the holster and need to lose a few pounds. But they went up on that stage and they got on top of him. And they were willing to take a bullet. And he took an oath to do that when he was on Obama's presidential detail. He's doing a similar thing now as the number 2 man at the FBI. And no one in the media, I was reading articles about him, right-wing conspiracy theorist named deputy director of the FBI. I didn't see anyone in the media put in proper perspective what's going on here, okay? And it's amazing. Now we're going to take, okay, I'll play that after the break, but I want to tell you guys about the free doorbell camera offer from Slomin's. If you've not yet taken advantage of this, call 1-800-ALARM-ME. It's easy to remember, 1-800-ALARM-ME. Get your free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin Shield. Slomin's is going to give you a customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for your doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll receive a free doorbell camera that connects to your cell phone with the installation of your Slomin Shield. Give them a call, no matter where you're located right now. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
For over 100 years, Slomin's Home Security has been your trusted partner in keeping your home safe and secure. Whether it's protecting your loved ones or safeguarding your belongings, our commitment to real security powered by real people makes all the difference.
That's right. Our dedicated team is right here in Florida, ready to serve you with expert care and support.
With 24/7 monitoring and personalized service, you're not just a number to us, you're part of our family. Join all the homeowners who trust Slomin's for peace of mind. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME today. Protecting what matters most, because the difference is human.
Hey, my True Oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to JupiterJoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is.
All right, we're back. Okay, so the media are obsessed with two things with Trump. Is Putin a dictator? You're trying to end a war, and you want to go out and insult the guy? What are you, people out of your mind? And then the other thing is, who's really started the war? And President Trump said it was Ukraine and Biden. And they're trying to act as if this is, he slipped. No, he didn't slip. He's right. So Jake Tapper, who's a real piece of work, Tapper's a monster. Okay? Tapper had Steve Witkoff on, who's Trump's top negotiator. And this is Trump's negotiator, Steve Witkoff, telling us how this war was started by Ukraine. This is on CNN yesterday with this idiot, Jake Tapper.
The war, irrespective of who started it, needs to end. Too many people's lives have been expunged as a result of it, and it just doesn't make sense to the president. He wants to be the peacemaking president, peace through strength, and I don't blame him. I actually concur right down the line with his thought process around this. That's one. Two.
I lost the audio. I don't know what happened. Let me see if I can rewind it. Hold on. I don't know what happened there. I lost the audio. I'm going to try it again because all the build-up and everything, then it didn't work. I don't know why it's not working now, Mike. I lost the audio. Isn't that something? It's live radio, people. Live radio. It happens. Let's see. I'll get it working again. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. But what happened is, and this is what he says, and I'll get it working for later. Isn't that just perfect? Right as he was about to say it, the audio cut out. I can't believe that. I'll check it during the break. But what he was about to say was that they provoked it by talking about joining NATO and Biden talking about the expansion of NATO. But here's the thing. Does it really matter at this point who started it? What is the point of that? And the reason that the media are obsessing over that, who started it nonsense, is because they don't want the war to end. I mean, when you were in school and there was a fight between two kids and a teacher broke it up and one of the kids said, well, he started it, and what would the teacher say? Well, I'm finishing it and it's over now, right? Doesn't matter who started it. Okay, I got the audio back. All right, let's go. Watch, it won't work again, but here it is. This is Steve Witkoff.
The war, irrespective of who started it, needs to end. Too many people's lives have been expunged as a result of it, and it just doesn't make sense to the president. He wants to be the peacemaking president, peace through strength, and I don't blame him. I actually concur right down the line with his thought process around this. That's one. Two, that the war didn't need to happen. It was provoked. It doesn't necessarily mean it was provoked by the Russians. There were all kinds of conversations back then about Ukraine joining NATO. The president has spoken about this. That didn't need to happen. It basically became a threat to the Russians. And so we have to deal with that fact. And those are real facts on the ground here. But be that as it may, the Russians have indicated that they are responsive to an end to this.
Okay. So, and Jake Tapper has this look of, like Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow over on MSNBC, of intellectual and moral superiority. They have all these things like, oh, you've got to call Putin a dictator. Oh, you got to say he started the war. How are you supposed to go to a guy and negotiate a peace treaty if you're insulting him and accusing him of murder and other things all along the way? That's not how you settle the war. And it's very easy for these reporters that earn multi-millions of dollars a year, like Jake Tapper, to keep a war going with foreign people, Ukrainians and Koreans and Russians and everything else, not only fighting, but getting killed. And according to President Trump, the death toll is very high. It's being hidden from us because they know it would drive the public to be very vocal about ending the war. These people, they're like these warmongers like Nikki Haley and the Cheneys. They love these wars when it's other people going. They're not going. It's very easy for him to sacrifice the lives of people he doesn't know, and because we got to call Putin a dictator, or we got to say that he started the war. What is the point of that? And you watch them when they talk about this, And they just, for some reason, they think that's some big point to be made. Of course he took the first military action, but things lead up to it. You know, I study history. When I study history, I don't, and this is when I read about history. I've studied history my whole life, and that's what I went to school for. And I'm not interested in reading about the battles. Right? I really don't read about the battles. When I'm reading history about the wars, what I'm interested in is not who the general or the admiral was or who made movements here or there. I'm interested in the politics that led up to that. Like, I give you an example. This idiot Macron yesterday, the French president who tried to correct Trump about the money spent. Did you hear what he said through his funny accent? I could hardly understand the guy. They should have had subtitles in that little press moment, or a translator. But when Trump was talking about getting paid back, Macron was talking about Russian reparations to NATO to pay back the cost of the war. Ukraine, this is what he said, Ukraine shouldn't pay it back, Russia should through reparations. Well, that's one of the reasons the Second World War began, is because France, mostly France, but also the England, wasn't the UK yet, demanded unreasonable reparations from Germany to pay back the damage they caused in the First World War. And the reparations caused, was one of the reasons the Great Depression happened, one of them. The Great Depression happened. But it wasn't just that, but it was one of the major causes of the war. The Second World War was reparations. And this idiot Macron wants to put a burden like that on Russia? What the heck? How's that going to work? It didn't work out very good in 1918. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know? So it doesn't matter about the battles. It matters in the dialogue that was going on that led to it. That's how you correct it. And I'm watching all this discussion in the media trying to get Trump to say that Russia started the war. What is the point of that? What is the point of that? How do you negotiate with someone that you're saying such terrible things about? Now, in 2 hours and 5 minutes, I'm going to be with Attorney Barry Siegel. You're all invited to the Revocable Living Trust workshop at the Boca Library over there on Spanish River Drive. And when I'm over there, if you want to know, I'm going to be the guy in the MAGA hat with the loose pants. You know, Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I've been on this diet. I started the Monday after the inauguration. So it's been a month? I've lost over 20 pounds. And most of the weight has come off in exactly where I wanted it, which is in my stomach and my waist. I've lost over 20 pounds. And for people that are asking, I'm not taking any medication. It's not Ozempic, none of that stuff. And I feel great. You know, I have never been on a diet before, other than, okay, no McDonald's this week, or something like that. I've never really been on any type of weight loss program or anything before. And I've lost over 20 pounds. It's amazing. I'm not struggling with it, and I feel great. I have never had as much energy as I have now. If I would have known this, I would have dropped weight a long time ago. It is amazing how much better I feel and how much more energy I have and less tired I am and all of that, even after a long, long day, because I've dropped over 20 pounds. It's amazing. I'm going to give you the number and the website for Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Go see Dr. Zuckerman. And when you stop in, make sure you tell him you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. It is amazing. The number is 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. 6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. coastalweightlossecret.com. And, you know, the belt the pants I'm wearing, a few weeks ago, I could wear these. They were tight without a belt. Now they're starting to fall off with the belt. And the hole I'm in, I had to make this hole myself in the belt. I did this last week. I'm going to have to make another hole in this belt because it's not holding the pants up because I've dropped so much. It's amazing. Yeah, let me give the number again. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And again, the website is coastalweightlossecret.com. Okay, after the top of the hour, Steve will be joining us. There's a lot more to talk about. Just kind of scratch the surface of the topics today. But we're in a new place. And what's going on with President Trump is a global reset of our entire civilization back to normalcy. And this purging of these lunatics from the media, Acosta, Joy Reid, a couple of the two most poisonous big mouths in the legacy media gone, is an example of that. And you see it happening everywhere. And a lot of these Democrats, like Tim Cook from Apple, I think they're so relieved. Bezos, all of them. I think they're so relieved that Trump is back and has gotten this woke nonsense off their back. They've really been bullied and terrorized by these wokesters, and I think they're happy now, and they're doing business now, and they're firing the wokesters. Disney just fired the feminazi that's been running Lucasfilm. Big man-hater wokester. Big time wokester. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Steve will be joining us after the top. We'll be back with your calls and more after this.
104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Heard Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group.
Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, coming out of the top, can you call Scott?
Yeah.
We're going to have Scott Messamore is coming back today, so you're going to do that with me? Okay?
Yeah,
okay.
take the lead.
Okay.
Test the
mic.
Test. 1, 2.
I saw level. The audition level popped when you did that.
Yeah, I think it's good. It should be fine. I'll double check that. Test. 1, 2.
Yep, there it is.
Perfect.
Every 20 minutes and get an entry into the $10,000 cash drawing this Saturday. Plus, check out the Bad Beat Jackpot. Daily big money.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Alright, should be good. I'll put the live reads in now as well, and I'll call Scott right now.
Okay.
Alright, perfect. That's a little. Do you want to take anything from the middle? We got
just this one.
Okay. Oh, not that one. This one. Alright, cool. Alright, and then of course we got Siegel next.
Yeah.
reserve a phone consultation too. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve.
All right. Line 4, Mike? We're good to go? All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve, you with us? Oh, boy. And, well, it's that time of year again. On the line, Scott Messamore from Cut My Kilowatts. Hey, Scott.
Good, my buddy. How are you?
Good morning. Hey, good morning, Brian and Steve. I'm doing great.
Now, before you get started, Scott, because Scott's going to tell you all how he can save you boatloads of money for the rest of the time you live in your home off your electric bill. This year will be how many years you've been with the Steve Kane Show? Do you know offhand?
It's like 15 years, Brian.
Oh, my goodness. 15 years.
That's a long time.
15 years with who's counting?
Yeah, so Scott, Scott has, really an amazing product. I know a lot of people in this audience have taken advantage of over the years, but he has a way that can reduce your electric bill in your home for the rest of the time you live in your home. Tell them all about it, Scott.
Well, my claim to fame is Radiant Barrier, and I brought that to South Florida about 15 years ago, and I think I launched it with you guys on your show, telling people about it and getting it going around. And we used to hold dinner seminars and show people the product and do a little demonstration. And it's just it's the cheapest, easiest way to really create a game-changing situation in your house. Your attic gets super, super hot in the summer, and the Radiant Barrier just reflects all that energy that comes in through the roof and shoots it right back out the roof, lowering the temperature in your attic 30 or 40 degrees, and also cutting off the radiant heat wave that heats up your roof and then heats up your whole entire house. Turns that energy from the sun and shoots it right back out the roof.
Yeah.
Runtime in half. It lowers the electric bill about 30 to 40%. It's that and proper insulation, about 20 to 30% with just the Radiant Barrier.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, 20, 30% off your electric bill with just this Radiant Barrier. And it does a couple of things I want to mention that are very important. Most of you, and I know I've had this issue, you have one room in your house that's always hotter than the rest, right? The hot room. That's no more with the Radiant Barrier, okay? That hot room is cool, like it should be. And, yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Absolutely, and also the garage is always hot and usually unair conditioned. It'll lower the temperature in the garage 10 to 15 degrees without air conditioning.
That's amazing.
With the Radiant Barrier, even if you don't have insulation, you only need insulation if you air condition the garage. But with the Radiant Barrier, it just turns that heat wave around with that attic coming down in temperature and the garage not, getting all that heat and then heating up the concrete in there. It just makes it uncomfortable even.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you Scott's number at Cut My Kilowatts. This is Scott's cell phone number. So you could call or text, and Scott calls back faster than anyone else I've ever known in my life. So usually you call back while I'm leaving the message, Scott. It's amazing. I don't know how you do it. But Scott's number is, well, let me have you give it out. Just you got it handier than I do. What's your number, Scott?
939-1500. And they can call or text me, and if I don't answer, I usually call back all missed numbers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. If you missed that number, reach out to me off the air. I'll give it to you guys. All right, Scott, we'll talk later in the week.
God bless us that Trump won this year.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely. Good. He's a good MAGA guy. That's right. Oh, man, 15 years. That's crazy. All right. All right, so we're back. Lots has been happening, Steve. I don't know if you had anything in particular where you wanted to go, or
Kind of my concerns. Say, what are we missing here?
I don't know.
At this stage in it seems to me what we're missing is any sense of specifically what Mr. Putin is demanding. And that's a bad sign.
No, that's not true. There is I wouldn't say demand, but they have one requirement. Russia, one requirement. No. That Ukraine has an election. That's it. That's all they've asked for. That they have an election.
Is?
That's all I've heard. Yeah. Marco Rubio met with them last week, and that was that Ukraine has an election. That doesn't sound unreasonable.
If that's true, that would be an encouraging sign. I was not aware that was the only.
It's the only one I've heard, but let them have what they want. I mean, within reason. What?
We're not really getting what he's saying. Whereas on the other issue, the domestic issue, we know exactly what they're arguing about, what they're fighting about. I'm excited about the domestic issue. I think that's going to get resolved.
What's the domestic issue?
Domestic issue is the budget.
Oh, that's happening. That's happening with everything that's going on with when by the time Trump's goal is to do away with income tax. That's what his ultimate goal here is, and that's why he's cutting back all this spending. They say you can't fund the government off of tariffs, import taxes. He's going to show that you can. I love this thing. I love how they thought they had Elon Musk on the ropes again, but Trump came out and defended him again yesterday with this email that he sent out that to all federal workers to email back 5 things you accomplished at work last week, or you're fired. And a few of the agencies, the FBI, the Pentagon, and what was the other one? I can't remember the other one. The intelligence agencies. They said don't answer them. And they thought they had, there's division. And Trump spelled it out. He said it. He said, these are people that are doing secret stuff. So we don't want to have they can't document what they're doing. They're doing secret stuff in those agencies. And he said, what Elon said. He says he's doing a great job. And he says there are thousands of people who don't exist that are getting paychecks. And this is a way to root them out. Okay? And what Doge believes that they found is that the government payroll is a lot like the Social Security. Remember last week, Social Security, 10 million people over the age of 120, some over the age of 300. They think the federal workforce is the same thing, that there's thousands and thousands of people that don't exist or are dead that are still collecting paychecks, that are going somewhere. And this is a way to, if they don't get the email back, it narrows down the people that they have to check.
It's a genius, but that's not the one I'm worried about.
What are you worried about?
Oh, I'm worried about the Russian thing.
Why are you worried? You moving to Ukraine?
Because, I don't think you're going to have to move to Ukraine to be negatively impacted if things don't get straightened out.
How would we be negatively... If Putin got all of Ukraine, how would that negatively impact us?
Well, he's a lunatic. You don't know what he'll do.
Nothing.
Okay, if you say...
What do you think he'll do? See, you know what I realized over the weekend. I was watching President Trump at CPAC, and did you see his speech at CPAC? Okay, he was not the only president there. The president of Venezuela and the president of Poland were there. The prime minister of Italy wasn't there, but she gave a speech that was pre-recorded. And I realized that Trump is putting together a new alliance. The NATO one's out of date. He's putting together a new alliance. Venezuela, Poland, Italy, the United States, El Salvador, and Russia, among other countries. Russia's going to be part of the new alliance. They're our allies again, or they will be when this is done. And I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be. Right. No one, I was talking about this the other day, Steve. Europe, in all their arrogance, they think that Putin wants Europe. Nobody wants Europe. It's a caliphate that's filled with a lot of problems. You think he wants to deal with all of that? All the problems they've had with the Chechens? You think he wants a whole continent of these people to cause him problems? I don't think so. No one wants Europe. Putin doesn't want Europe. No one. Now, he does want Ukraine. I'm not going to deny that. But so what? Let him have it. I don't care. I don't think anybody else does. But that's not what's going to happen. He may get some of the territory. And asking for an election when Zelensky has suspended elections, I don't think that's unreasonable. Trump's asking for an election in Ukraine. Sounds reasonable to me. So no, things are fine. There's nothing to worry about. The reason you're panicked.
I'm glad you're confident.
Yeah, the reason you're panicked is because Fox News is in a panic that the war's going to end, and they don't want the war to end.
I think that's fair, and I don't think it's accurate.
Yeah.
Fox News is doing a bang-up job.
Mm.
What can they do? They've turned it. I mean, if Trump owned the whole Fox News network or whatever, they couldn't be.
A lot of the pro-Trump people from Fox are now a part of the cabinet and work for Trump, right? So a lot of the people that are left behind at Fox are the Trump haters.
I don't hear it in the programming, and I watch Fox round the clock.
They're making a big deal over his comments on Ukraine and Russia. About how he says President Trump says that Ukraine started the war, and they're obsessing on Fox that he said that. They're trying to get him to say Russia started the war, which is not true. And, that doesn't sound like pro-Trump to me. All right, listen, we're going to take our break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on it.
All right, we're back. You back with us, Steve? Yep. Okay, on the line, we have attorney Barry Siegel. I'm going to see you in an hour and 45 minutes, Barry, at the Spanish River Library in Boca. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm very excited about that. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. Looking forward to seeing you this morning, Brian. We're having our first workshop ever at the Spanish River Library in Boca Raton. We're expecting a nice-sized crowd, a bunch of people who are wanting to make sure that their families are well taken care of and getting the education they need to make the right decisions for themselves and their family to get protection and peace of mind. And so we're excited about doing this at the Spanish River Library. It's also special to us because the Spanish River Library is where we do what we call our Legacy Tree Project. We have been, for the last couple of years, working with the city of Boca Raton and planting trees in honor of our departed clients to honor them and also to help the environment as well. So as anybody who's coming, when you're over there, just to the left of the library, there, and then going all around to the front, there are about 40-ish trees that
oh my goodness
planted already, and we're very proud of that. And then, of course, in 2 days, on Thursday at 10 a.m., we're going to have our first workshop in many years in West Palm Beach, in downtown West Palm Beach. So we're going to be over there as well at the Hyatt Place downtown. So if you haven't called and made your reservation for that one, and you're more up that way, or that's more convenient for you, please call us and register, or come to our website and register, and we'll see.
Yeah, and how many trees do you have at the Spanish River Library in Boca?
Close to 40.
Oh my goodness!
More than 40.
It sounds like we've got the Seagull Forest over there at the Spanish River Library. Maybe we can call that's a lot of trees.
That is just a spectacular space. Not just the library itself is beautiful, but just outside of the library, and then behind it, there's this beautiful lake and trail. A lot of people, walk and jog and bike around there. A lot of,
Yeah, it's a nice area. Yeah, it's a nice area. So I'm going to be there with Attorney Barry Siegel in an hour and 43 minutes at 10 a.m. Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group are having the Revocable Living Trust at the Spanish River Library in Boca. You are all invited to be there. I'll be there. As soon as I get off the air at 9, I'm hopping in the car and heading over there. It's the Spanish River Library in Boca. And if you have any questions, I don't know, is anybody in the office this early, Barry, if people have questions? Or okay. Yeah, 855-FLA-3782 is the number. If you have any questions, directions, want to let them know you're coming, 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, I'll see you in an hour and 42 minutes. All right. All right, take care. All right, we are back. Yeah, so you got nothing to worry about, Steve. You got nothing to worry about. All right, well, let's take some calls. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Our number is 888-465-2631. By the way, if there's anyone at Mar-a-Lago listening today, can someone get Elon to unlock my Twitter that I'm locked? I got locked out of my X yesterday. But I wasn't hacked or anything. I thought I was, but I had to update my Mac iOS system, and when it rebooted, it locked me out and said there was a suspicious login to my thing, and I put in a request, but it's been like 24 hours. I haven't heard back. So if anyone at Mar-a-Lago can get Elon on the line, can you unlock me from my Twitter? I had, that I start. Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. Hello. Everything is up. We're just living in a spectacular time. What an honor it is to be part of the greatest political moment in world history. And this movement is gaining more and more steam as the day goes on.
Not to stop you, don't lose your thought, but I wanted to highlight this thing with Bongino. And I don't know, did you see any coverage about Bongino on Fox, Steve, yesterday, beyond a mention? A little bit. Bongino announced, he's still on the air this week. I think what's going on is they're doing the security background checks, and when that's done, he's not just a deputy director of the FBI, he's the number 2 at the FBI, is the job he got. And what I was talking about earlier with this, and Fox fired him, so they're not going to hype him up, all right, because they screwed up on that one. But what Bongino has done is walked away from his multi-million-dollar business that his whole family lives off of, where he has a lot of employees, and he's making millions of dollars. Okay, nationally syndicated show. He's got one of the top 5 podcasts in America, and he's walked away from all of that for one reason and one reason only: to catch and put behind bars the people that tried to kill President Trump and were trying to put him in prison for the rest of his life. And I have never known a civilian walk away from so much to do something so patriotic as this. I mean, this is amazing what Bongino has done, and I don't think he's been given the proper due in the media, because Fox fired him and they're not going to admit it's a big deal. And I'm reading the news stories. Trump names right-wing conspiracy theorist as the number 2 at the FBI. He's on a mission to bring to justice the people that tried to kill President Trump.
There are 2 stand-up guys with Cash Patel and Don Bongino, no doubt about it. I mean, they're going to be some team to reckon with. But you know what? They should have given him a little bit more coverage, I think, on Fox, even though they fired him. He got his big news getting in there and that. What I was going to say, Brian, this movement, you can see the effect it's having everywhere in Europe, South America. South America, we also have to throw Brazil in that pack, too, because in March there's going to be major events, I think, coming out of Brazil related to Trump helping Bolsonaro get back into power there. And the other thing is the legacy media, especially the morning shows with Joey Reid and the rest of them, getting fired by their own people and their own networks is really a beautiful thing to watch. If they could just take care of Morning Joe and The View,
Morning Joe, a lot of people, it's just filler because we're on when that's on. So why would anybody be listening to anything but this program? So that stuff that's on against us is just filler programming. They have to put something on the air.
They're rapidly disappearing. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to watch. But that's due to this incredible political movement we've had there. And to be alive at this time to see these events happening is just
what's happened is that with Joy. Do you know how difficult it is to fire a black liberal woman? And this new head of MSNBC who's white, she fired Joy Reid, Lester Holt. She fired Alex Wagner. Alex Wagner is black and is Asian, so they call that Blasian. And then she fired some other non-white people. I mean, I've never seen a white liberal fire so many non-white people like that before. It's never happened.
And where are they going to go to? We're going to go to CNN. CNN, I think, is going to be gone too.
Well, Rachel Maddow's next. In the first hour, I went through Rachel Maddow's model. Oh, they're trying to. Well, Rachel Maddow has been paid millions of dollars a year to just do her show on Mondays, and they had Alex Wagner do it the other 4 days. So they're making her do all 5 days now immediately, and that's to try to get her to quit because she doesn't want to work that much. Because if they quit, they don't get the golden parachute. And last night, Rachel Maddow comes on after Joyless Reid. Oh, I played it. I spent the whole first hour going through the monologue. You got to wake up early and listen. You got to wake up early, Steve, and you get this. But Rachel Maddow spent her whole opening monologue talking about how racist MSNBC is for firing all these non-white people. And she went this. I mean, and what she's doing is she's through the guise of virtue signaling, she's foreshadowing her own firing. CNN, they put Acosta on at midnight to get him to quit, because if they fired him, they have to pay him off. Rachel Maddow, they're making her work 5 days a week to try to get her to quit. It's not good. They're going to eventually fire her. And when they fire her, Rachel Maddow this is what she was foreshadowing. I left on my own. I can't work for a company that fires so many non-white people. I can't. Did you see who they replaced Joy Reid with? Gold Bar Menendez's daughter. Yeah. Yes. And there's three people. So Gold Bar Menendez, who is he in prison yet? The senator that takes bribes. Michael Steele. And I forgot the other girl's name. She's black. She's very big and bald, and she used to work for Kamala at the White House and quit. I forgot her name. So this idea that it's racist, they got two blacks and a Hispanic that replaced Joy.
Holt too?
Lester Holt was fired yesterday too from NBC News. Yeah, I mean,
How long do you think the View has to last on that?
I don't know, but it's fun to watch. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, man. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hi, how you doing? This is Joseph.
Hey, Joseph.
How's it going, man? I just have a simple question, man. Since I've been watching your show, listening to your show, I don't recall you talking about Brett Favre doing over $70 million from the state of Mississippi. I don't hear anyone speaking about that.
What did he do?
He stole over $70 million.
Never heard of him. Brett Favre's on food stamps. Didn't he play baseball?
So
football? See, that's what I know about sports. I don't know. Football, baseball, I don't know. Hockey, I don't know.
Hold on. Let's be real. You haven't heard about Brett Favre stealing over 70 people in Mississippi? Are you serious?
How did he steal the food stamps?
You tell me.
How long ago was this?
What do you mean? It's in Forbes. It's all over the news.
Oh, Forbes. You don't sound like a guy that reads Forbes. Tell us what happened then. I don't know anything about it.
I don't sound like a guy. Oh man, what do you mean? I don't sound like a guy to read? Are you going to be racist toward me, man, on the show? That's not.
You're black. How would I know you're black? I can't see you. How would I? What do you mean racist?
I'm calling him.
I can't see you.
Over $70 million from poor people. Why are y'all not
stealing? I have no idea what you're talking about.
$1 million in food stamps.
I'm curious about something you said though. Okay. You accused me of being racist? I don't know. What are you, black? You Asian? You Hispanic? I can't see you. I can't.
The guy that doesn't read Forbes. That's racist, man.
You're just a voice on the phone. I can't. How do I know? How do I know your skin color? Excuse me. How do I? I wouldn't know who Brett Favre was if he walked into this studio and urinated on the floor. I wouldn't know who he was. Okay, I've heard of him. I can't see. Excuse me. I can't see you. How would I know what skin color you are?
You don't have no problem with him stealing because you're.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure. What are you auditioning for Joy Reid's replacement? How would I know you're not white? I can't see you. How would I know you're not white? Oh, he hung up. I guess he doesn't want to talk about Brett Favre. He played football, Steve? Who did he play for? I don't even know.
I think that caller was black.
I don't know. I just heard a voice on the phone. Why would he assume? No. What?
Just putting it on.
About what? About Brett Favre?
No, that's an old story, by the way.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
He's referring to was years ago.
Oh, okay.
Years at least.
Well, Forbes is probably behind the times. I don't know. Does Forbes even exist anymore? The last time I heard of Forbes was on Die Hard. Hans Gruber, remember? He was the Asian dorm. They read about them in Forbes. He wanted them released in Die Hard. All right, listen, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. If you're on hold, stand by. I mean, I don't understand. How can you be racist against a voice on the phone? I can't see him. You know what that's about? Anytime he feels any pressure, he just plays the race card, that guy. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian
Craig. Anyone who listens to this show knows you don't know sports.
I didn't know. I thought Brett Favre played baseball. I don't know.
No, football.
Who am I thinking of? I know who I'm thinking of. I just can't think of the name of the guy I'm thinking of.
I know Michael Jordan played baseball.
No.
Barry Sanders?
No, there's somebody. It'll maybe come. I don't care.
I know who you're talking about. The football player that played baseball as well, too.
Is Joe here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bo Jackson and Deion.
Yes, Bo Jackson, yeah. That's what I was thinking of, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. I don't know anything about sports. That's why I don't talk about sports. I don't know anything about it. Hey, how's it going?
I got some balls for you.
Oh.
Buddy of mine gave me some. He works for DXG.
Oh, cool.
Let's try these out. So I'm going to give them
Take these to the driving. I don't get further than the driving range because I don't like to embarrass myself.
We got to go play, man. I know you're busy. I know. I get it.
You would lose all respect for me on the golf course.
Listen, have you seen my game?
If Trump called me to play golf, I'd go, but I would watch.
I would love that. By the way, I was watching Kai.
What's that?
Kai Trump.
Oh yeah, on YouTube.
She was over.
Oh, you saw her play? Yeah. It's not a secret.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then anyway, they were over there, and they.
Oh, you saw her in person?
No, but I know about them. They're always. She's out there in the Secret Service.
She's going to be a pro.
She's unbelievable.
She's really good.
Yeah. She hits from the tips there, which is like a mile.
Yeah. I've seen her play online. She's really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you have anything in particular?
Well, this is interesting. A buddy of mine gave me this. I didn't know about it. In fact, their client gave me this.
Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a
Shaquille
roofing
O'Neal.
company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of his roofing and general contractor's licenses. Not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll ask you about that. That's
and
good.
what's interesting is that
He's got $500 million.
Wealthy guy. Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that's $500 million.
Well, that's what rich people do. The old money. They have their money in things that doesn't. The old money people, they don't.
And they protect their money.
They never spend their principal.
Exactly. There you go.
That's how the families stay rich.
Well, NFL and NBA players, so many of them end up bankrupt.
They buy everybody a house.
3 cars. They pay no tax, and they go, what happened?
That's why I live in the same house I bought over 20 years ago. My wife always wants to buy your house.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I was listening to you about Bongino, man. That's so interesting.
Oh my gosh. What's that? Okay. Are there any live reads this? Are those for this hour? Those 2 you just put up there? Any live reads left? Oh. Well, okay, let me know. Then remind me at the end because I'll forget. Tell me, just put the time I got to end. I got to end at a time for your thing.
I love them, by the way.
Did they come out good? I haven't heard them.
They came out great. I just haven't heard them. I'm going to hear today.
Oh, they're.
So listen after the show.
I felt bad because we were gabbing so much. It had to be like a pain to do the production.
I talked to Mike Balsamo and I said, we'll knock out like 10 more, and then we're done. We'll just roll them for 6 months.
And then we'll do them again and
whatever.
Or start over again.
Yeah. It's funny now when I walk my dog at 7 in the morning, I put you on.
Oh, good. Good.
I hit the little button and I go, okay, let's
I appreciate it.
No, it's all good.
The 6 o'clock hour is when I drop the good stuff that I should wait till later.
6 is kind of tough.
Cutting it tough. Cutting it close.
My wife used to get up at 5. Now she's getting up at 7 again. So I wake up about 7. Unless the dog wakes me up. That means 6:30.
Oh yeah, I don't have a dog anymore. Dogs all died, and almost got one this weekend, and luckily we changed our mind.
We were not going to get another dog after Roxy. 16 and a half.
Yeah, mine's 16, 17, and
we waited 2 years, I think, and it was tough. It was brutal.
Well, it's like a baby. They're like babies. They take too much attention and walk in and.
48 years on the air.
All right, and Joe Thomas is in studio. We were having this conversation, Joe Thomas and I, during the break. You were showing me this article that is really amazing about Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know about sports, but I know Shaq, and annuities. And you want to tell me about it? This was absolutely amazing because Shaquille O'Neal is really known as a very successful entrepreneur. He's loaded.
Yeah, I mean, think of the guy's on everything. Icy Hot, he's on Papa John's, and he's involved. He gets a piece of the action, too, from the company. I'm sure they give him stock or whatever he wants. But he's a great spokesman. And here he is talking about annuities that he's been purchasing since he was in the NBA for a reason, because it's sleep at night protection. It sounds so goofy when I say that, but let me tell you something. It meant something to this guy, and he's worth $500 million. $500 million is
$500 million, yeah.
$500 million. And he's been putting money in annuities all the way along while he had these super-sized contracts. And we're talking about how NFL and NBA people lose a lot of their money because they go buy 3 houses, one for everybody, 5 cars, and then they're out of money because they don't pay taxes.
And then they only play for a few years, and the money stops. And you know the thing, I was telling you this about Shaquille O'Neal, $500 million. He's got his money in annuities, and that's how old money operates. Okay, I'm not old money. Okay, but I read there's an autobiography of Teddy Roosevelt. It's a fascinating autobiography, and they talk about his attitude. Teddy Roosevelt used to talk about this. The old money people, the Roosevelts, the Kennedys, the Shaquille O'Neal's family, they never touch their principal.
Right.
They whatever their principal is, they have, like he has it in annuities. They probably didn't have annuities in Teddy's day, but they live off the income that nest egg generates. That's what old money do, and that's why I was reading that Bobby Kennedy is practically a billionaire because the Kennedy money is still there because they don't use their principal, like Shaq.
They don't like risk, and they do take risks, but it's a limited risk. And I've worked with some people who work $250 million, drop some names, but interesting enough, it's not about that. It's about working with everyday Joes like me and you, where you can still do the same thing that Shaq's doing. You can buy an annuity for $10,000, $25,000 as an investment, and not lose your money. And that's, he actually put in here that one thing he likes is that he doesn't have to worry about his money.
Well, one thing I talked to you about, anytime you want to be successful at something, look at somebody that's successful at what you want to be successful at. And in this instance with Shaquille O'Neal, you got a guy worth $500 million. What he's doing is he's setting up like the Kennedys have their thing. He's setting up a legacy for his family and probably his cousins and his nieces and nephews and everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
And his whole family, long after Shaq is in the biggest coffin that's ever been constructed, is going to be set up with this.
Exactly. And you know, it's also interesting that what these people do with money, they do these family limited partnerships, and you can transfer wealth down the line. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
You know, cousins and everybody else, and they all get a piece of the action, hopefully. But the thing that I find that's interesting about this article is that here's a guy that's not, I'm sure he's invested in many things, and what I always talk about is diversification.
Yep.
Not keeping your eggs in one basket, but spreading your money out into things that can and cannot lose money. An annuity is one of those things that cannot lose money
Yeah.
if you purchase the right annuity.
And no matter what happens in the market, your nest egg is safe.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's never at risk. Now, one last thing I want to talk about before you go, because this is important, because a lot of you hear Shaq well, I don't have $500 million. And I've heard my entire life, I hear guys on the radio that are in retire, and they say, oh, it's gotten upped over the years, but I don't know what the number they say now, but you got to have $4 or $5 million saved up to retire, and that panics people. You can have $5 million, and Joe would be happy to meet with you with your 5 or 10 million, but you don't have to have a lot of money to get involved in annuities.
So the average American out there with a 401k has about $200,000 to $300,000 in their 401k, and they just want to survive. They want to make sure that they have money there that's going to be used in the future. This magical number of $1 million retirement plan,
it's crazy.
Less than 3% of Americans have that, so you got to work with what you have, and that's what we do. Whether you have $1 million or whether you have 100,000 or 10,000, we're going to give you the best advice we can.
Yeah, and a lot of empty nesters, when their kids move out and they sell their house and do a condo, they find themselves with a sum of money. It seems to me, I mean, I'm not I don't give the financial advice. That's where Jupiter Joe Thomas comes in. But I'd rather put my money in an annuity than in a savings account.
Yeah, and also put your money to work for you. So many people have this emergency fund with $100,000 sitting in a checking account doing nothing. If that's the case, give us a call. We can show you how to get 5.5%, 6%. You know, right now I've got a 3-year fixed at 6%. We've got a bonus at 10%. I mean, I don't want to come off so salesman, but you know, these things people can take advantage of. Everyday Joes can take advantage of this.
Well, listen, give Joe a call. It's a no-charge consultation. He'll talk to you. He'll give you a custom proposal based on your situation, your needs, your goals, and all of that. His number's 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll see you soon. All right, take care. All right, back with us, Steve? Okay, let's go back to our phones that are ringing off the hook. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay. You got to get off the speakerphone. Get off this. You got to pick up the phone. Oh my goodness. All right, I appreciate the call, but you know, that was a fail. I am. What's your name again?
My name is Scott.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
Yeah, you talked about Russia being in an alliance with other countries. I don't know if you included Hungary or.
Well, President Trump is putting together a new alliance, as opposed to that old, outdated NATO alliance. And there are many. Hungary's one of them. Yeah, I left out Hungary. That's one of them. Yeah.
Now, insofar as who started the war, Trump, did he say that Ukraine kind of.
They did. Yes, they started the war. Correct.
But Tulsi, in her hearing, said that Russia started the war.
Yeah, you gotta say what you gotta say what you gotta say to get confirmed.
Kind of, as best with the time I have tracked this deal, who are the people saying that Russia is going to invade Poland and extend itself?
The warmongers that are backed by the military-industrial complex. People like Nikki Haley, some of the Fox News crew, Brennan.
And there's a YouTuber I follow who's a military analyst. I won't give his name, but he's very big into saying that Ukraine must defend itself and all. And, you know, I'm wondering where this guy comes from and if he's invested in, if there's a lot more people invested in blood.
Well, yeah, maybe, you know. Listen, it's not important at this point who started it, is it? I mean, you just want to end it.
And one thing that neither side has said, but I've tracked, I'll give you an idea about myself is long ago, I got my news from shortwave radio from the English services around.
Oh my goodness, that goes way back. I remember those shortwave radio shows. I remember those, yeah.
It gave me a different perspective than Cronkite and Brokaw and all the other DC and...
Wait, the shortwave, people don't... There used to be, and I don't know if it still exists, but at all, but there used to be a lot of people that did radio shows just on shortwave. And that's kind of morphed into the internet now. You can just go on the internet now.
I did that a couple of times too. But the point that I want to make is that this thing with Russia and Ukraine, it's been going on before the war was even going on. In the Donbass region, there was sectarian and...
I don't know. I don't want to go through all the... Nobody cares about the only history is this. This war is going to be history. And a lot of people don't want it to end. Hey, I appreciate the call. I don't know, Steve. I think you'll be happy with when the war's over and it's all negotiated.
See it happening anytime soon.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. One day you're just gonna wake up. It's gonna be over. It's gonna be over. But I'll tell you what also will be over. That's your pain if you go see Dr. Philip Appleton. You know, he's rid me of pain 7 times, guys. His laser wave pain treatment works, and it's absolutely amazing. You know, Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself, not an assistant. I thought I was getting like VIP service, you know, and Doc says, no, I do them all myself, which is really great because Dr. Appleton, with as many years of experience and so many thousands of patients over the years, he's able to find in your body the spot where the damage is that's causing you the pain, and that's the part he treats with the laser. You know, the laser not only is completely painless, you don't even feel it when he's doing it. There's no sensation of any kind, so it's painless. You don't feel it. There's no shots, no injections, no downtime. Oh yeah, the best part, it works. That's the best part. It works. It's rid me of pain 7 times, and that's a good thing. I often wonder what I would be like if I didn't meet Dr. Appleton. I'd be in so much pain right now. I don't know how I'd be standing here talking to you guys. I'd be suffering, or I'd be a junkie like Hunter. One or the other. I'd either be hobbling around in pain or hooked on some kind of drug. The laser wave pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of, and I'm learning of new pains all the time. I've met countless listeners who have been rid of pain just like I have from Dr. Appleton. So give him a call. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome. It's a free consultation. And if you have x-rays or scans or anything, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will be happy to look at them. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. You know, Steve, this thing with, that I was talking about with Bongino, I am expecting, and I don't think... this is going to take too long, but there is going to be some high-profile arrest from Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, and I'm talking about like household name arrest.
Yeah, so in general,
maybe. I mean, I believe both assassination attempts were inside jobs from our government. Absolutely. Yeah. Probably within, yeah, absolutely, and listening to Bongino, I think he believes that too. But the lawfare people, there's going to be major arrests, no doubt about it. Do we have the gold report? Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. Okay, we're getting the liberal yeah. Oh, you just made it. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, how you doing? I'm so sorry. My name is Andrew, and I'm calling. How are you?
Hi.
Andrew, how are you doing?
We're doing good. I just want to make a quick comment, gentlemen, about that jerk that was just called.
Which one? We get a few of them.
Yeah, about...
more specific, please. Yes.
About Brett Favre, the one that was making those comments about Brett Favre.
Oh.
is a man who I
to be black.
Yes.
Right. Brett Favre is a man who I followed for many years. He was a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, a great one. He's made tens of millions, if not more, dollars playing for the Green Bay Packers, and I don't believe he's ever stole anything from anyone.
Yeah.
And I've never even heard that story until
yeah.
There was hang on one second. Just to set the record straight, there was a scandal a while back. It's been a long, but I don't know how it turned out.
I'm not, this is the thing, okay? The guy that called griping about it, he doesn't know either, or he would have told us, okay? He just wanted he wants to throw things out there and get us to talk about it. All right, thanks for the call. Oh, this is exciting. Gold report time. Let's check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking today?
A buying opportunity today after we've seen practically record highs last week and this week. The markets yesterday, gold closed at $2,952.90. Silver closed at $32.32. Platinum was at $966, and palladium closed at $924. This morning we've seen gold trade in a range of $2,921 up to $2,954. So the $2,921 low there bounced right off of that, and it's back up to $2,933.30 right now. That's down $20. Silver's $32 right now, down 32 cents. Platinum's up $4 at $970, and palladium's down $6 at $918. So it's definitely giving us a little pullback down towards the area of support that we've seen for gold, right around that $2,920 number. So this great day for opportunity to take advantage.
Yeah, and those dips, you want to buy on those dips because things are getting so exciting in the gold market. It's absolutely amazing, and every day gold's making the news so much because President Trump's talking about Fort Knox every day. So that's causing a lot of buzz around gold and everything else. Get involved. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. You can call, again, he opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call, and remember, you can do your transactions over the phone and through the mail, no matter where you're located in the world with William Youngerman. 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and find both his phone number and address online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Service coin and rare dealers. We also have a foreign exchange department that deals in 60 different currencies if you're traveling somewhere.
Yeah, and people come from pretty far away in South Florida for that currency exchange. If you're traveling and you need money, or you have some money left over from a trip somewhere, and it's amazing how many people. Every time I stop in, William, there's people in there for that currency exchange. All right. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, we're back now. I want to apologize to everybody in the audience today because as usual, I messed up on the break schedule. So we got a traffic jam of breaks, and every once in a while, I get wrapped up with some of these or callers, and I lose track of time. And believe me, I get chewed out for it all the time. Believe me, believe me. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, what's up, JJ?
Hey, Steve. I hope your friend's going to be okay, Brian, but I wanted to talk a couple of things, really. I think Trump, when he was talking about Zelensky and the war, obviously his priority is to close the deal. And I think him saying about Zelensky starting the war was basically just to put people off balance. I mean, everybody's losing their mind about it. I mean, I think that, anybody that looks at this would say that, I mean, for me, I look back at Medvedev, we talked about this last week, and the word was flexibility. When he was on stage with Obama before the election of 2012, he said, after this election, I'll have more flexibility. Tell that to Vlad. He says, okay, I'll tell him. 1 year after Obama is sworn in, Vladimir walks into Crimea, and everything goes to hell. So, I mean, if anybody, I think we started the damn thing, but it's all about finishing it right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you're suggesting that Obama may have given the all clear to take Crimea? I can see it. Here's the thing. These are places that most people cannot find on an unlabeled map. I might be able to find it because I just have to find Crimea, and then north is Ukraine. These places are, it's not our business. It's not our war. No one cares. Putin does not want Europe. Europe is a caliphate. Who wants it? Nobody.
I agree with that analysis.
The Chechens, the Chechen Russians are the Muslims, right? And they've caused them nothing but trouble since the fall of the Soviet Union. He doesn't want a whole continent of that.
No, he does not. And that he may have wanted Ukraine, but there's no way Ukraine. If he goes any further than that,
There's no doubt he wants Ukraine. Here's the thing: who cares who started it? Okay, I used this analogy earlier. Two kids get into a fight at school. Teacher breaks it up. He started it. I don't care who started it. I'm finishing it. That's what the teacher says, right? Who cares? And all this is trying to mess. Trump is going to have a major accomplishment here. He's going to end this war, and it's going to. Yesterday you heard the president of France. All right, he doesn't want the war to end. Okay, he wants to. He's got some reparations plan to have Russia pay back NATO, the NATO European countries of NATO, for their money and Ukraine. Your
analysis on with regard to World War, that's exactly
it.
Happened.
And when he said that right there tells me that they're trying to stop this war from. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, JJ. So no, there's nothing to worry about and nothing to see here. And I got to tell you. There's a lot less of me to see. I've lost over 20 pounds, Steve, with the Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Over 20 pounds, and I'm still losing. And in just over an hour, I'm going to be with Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library in Boca. And I'm wearing jeans just a couple of weeks ago without a belt. These were skin tight. I thought they were skinny jeans. And I put them on today with my belt, with the hole I put in the belt last week, and they're falling off my body. I can't even keep my pants up. I've lost so much weight, Steve, with the Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It's amazing. And I want to tell everybody, because a lot of people keep asking me, I'm not taking any medication. I'm not taking Ozempic. If I was, I would tell you. And Steve, I've never been on any type of weight loss anything in my life. I cannot believe how great I feel. I have more energy than I have had in my entire life. I am feeling so good. And it's amazing, and it's all because of Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm going to give you their number and website. When you call them and you set up your appointment with Dr. Zuckerman, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel, all right? The number is 561-247-6300. Oh, and I'm not doing any exercise. The only thing I'm exercising is my mouth, okay? My jaws are in the best shape of anybody else in town, I promise you. But I'm not doing any walking. I'm not doing any steps. I'm not doing any exercise. Nothing. And I've lost over 20 pounds. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossSecret.com. That's coastalweightlossSecret.com, all right? Okay, so yeah, everything's going perfect. Everything is going so well, Steve. And just a little cherry on the top is this purge of the hate mongers on MSNBC. And the thing about they're replacing people that they're firing with these other shows. Like I told you, Goldbar Menendez has this show with Michael Steele. Those are just temporary filler shows. I would imagine we're going to get a complete overhaul of the media as we know it, because they're not effective, no one's watching them, and they've blown their credibility. And what's happened, and I think there's a realization with this, you got to understand, the woman that did all the firing at MSNBC, she's firing mostly minority people, and she's white, okay? Which is unheard of, bring in a white person to fire all these non-white people.
The astounding part of this.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I never thought. And the thing with MSNBC, the brand is damaged beyond repair. There's nothing you can do at MSNBC to bring it back. Sometimes it's like when Jared from Subway gets out of prison, they're not going to use Jared to do commercials anymore, because the Jared from Subway brand is forever damaged. Right? There's nothing you can do to rehab it. Same thing with MSNBC. There's nothing that can be done to rehab the brand. So either they're going to sell it off or they're going to completely change it. And you're going to see this throughout the media in general, not Fox, but you're going to see this at MSNBC, and you're going to see some changes at CNN. They didn't get rid of Acosta for no reason. Okay? They got rid of Acosta because I believe, yeah, but I think that the left that are running the media, a lot of them have felt held hostage by these wokesters. And now with Trump, they feel liberated where they can stand. Even a lot of liberals think it's some of the things that the left are promoting are stupid, like, you know, the trans sports things and critical race theory. But they felt it was popular or they felt bullied, and now they are liberated too, just like the rest of us. And everything is going like clockwork. Now, remember, guys, 10 o'clock, just over an hour from now, come meet me along with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library in Boca at 10 a.m. And you can find the Spanish River Library on your maps, on your iMaps, on your Google Maps, on your navigation on your phone, or Google it. And I'll be there with Attorney Barry Siegel in just over an hour. You are all invited. And I look forward to meeting you all there. The Spanish River Library this morning at 10 a.m., just over an hour from now. In fact, when we get off the air, my steps are going to be to the car, and then I'm going to drive over there and see you all there in an hour. Okay, so I look forward to that. But no, and I didn't even get to 10% of my show prep today, but that's how fast the news cycle is, Steve. You know, I mean, we just, you know, you can't get to everything in a day, and yeah, and by tomorrow there'll be a whole new news cycle because things are happening at light speed. Or warp speed, I should say. All right, listen, that's all the time we have for today. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Cold.
Brian Craig here. We're in studio with retirement advisor.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you all later. I'm heading over to the Spanish River Library, all right? Take care. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys, all right?